You guys good?
Yeah, great. Just talk
Let's
about
keep
dating.
talking about it.
I forgot I had these.
Hold on, I do have a question for you
Nice
two on this
watching us.
because some people have been asking. How did you guys get engaged? Can you guys tell the story of the
Yeah, I
proposal?
forget how much I said before, but basically, do you want to tell it, Jen?
Well, you should tell leading up to it.
Okay. So basically, at some point, Jen, I brought it up, and I brought it up like pretty early on, just like to be clear, like, hey, I think we're headed towards marriage, and I'm pretty serious about this. So, just make sure we're on the same page. And then at some point, I said, I do think we're ready to get engaged at some point soon. So what kind of rings do you like? So she pulled up like Pinterest, I think it was, and she had a couple pinned on a wedding board or something. So she just showed me, I think it was like 2 or 3 pictures of rings that she liked.
Way more than that. But yeah.
Yeah, maybe, because I think there were like...
Danny only had eyes for 2 or 3 of those.
Yeah.
Like, those are the ones.
Either way, it felt like you had 2 that you were like, you're like, yes for these. And then you're like, I like rings like, and then you were like Googling things, and then you were like pulling things up. You're like, kind of like this, kind of like that. But it was already like locked in my brain because there was like at least one picture you're like, this is like perfect. And I was like, all right, nice. So then I get home that night and I was like looking around and I was like, all right, let me find something that's like that. So I go on Blue Nile. This episode's sponsored by Blue Nile. And I did like a couple other online ones, and I like I'm a data man.
Wait, what is Blue Nile though?
It's basically just online rings. So there was some James something was another one. There were 3, and you could pick each stone, and you basically start by just looking for the diamond itself. And you can read the certificate of each one, the size, the cut, the this and that, the 5 C's or whatever it is. And I just like that because you could actually compare all of the different diamonds and see, hey, how far does money go for this stuff? How pure does it have to be an accurate symbol of our love? And so then I was like, oh, all right, cool. Well, I'm figuring out that this is the right shape, oval diamond, this will be great. And then they had some cool settings, a couple options that I thought looked good. So then I assemble it, and we have a friend, Gail, that I think a lot of the people go to. And I really wanted to go to her because my mom's like, oh yeah, she's the best. And all our friends kind of know when it's time, you go to Gail, and she'll bring you into her diamond connections.
Oh my.
But the problem is,
Gail.
I'm looking at, I didn't want to say last name.
I know
But
Gail.
then I didn't want to.
My mom knows her. She has the connections for everything.
But then I was like, I take the screenshot that I was going to then bring to Gail. But then well, I mean, this is the ring that I want. It's the right size. It's the right whatever. And I'm being taunted by the arrives in 3.5 weeks. And I'm like, you know what? Forget Gail. Sorry, Gail.
Yes.
I'm just like ordering it. So I just like ordered it right then. And I kind of liked that it was like we discussed the rings and I ordered it like within 3 or 4 hours of that discussion. It just stunk that it got delayed twice because it was supposed to arrive in 3.5 weeks. And then like a week out, they were like, oh yeah, it's going to be delayed 14 days. And I was like,
14 days?
That's actually significant.
Wait, were they cutting it?
I don't know what they were doing, but it was being assembled like off-site or something, and they're making each one, but they couldn't be cutting it because the diamond was already cut. It was already certified by the GIA, so it was like it couldn't have been that. It was just, I guess, the setting, and the setting has a couple extra diamonds, so maybe those need to be cut. But I was like, it's all a little new to me, but I was frustrated. I'm like, hey, this whole thing is about customer service. I send them some email, and I was like mildly annoyed. I'm sure it was.
I love that.
Yeah, I'm going into way more detail than anyone
they're
else.
like, how do you get engaged? Like, how I put the ring?
Jen is now getting the behind the scenes.
Yeah,
of
like,
it.
oh no, it was super easy and simple. But then I send this like kind of annoyed email, like, excuse me, I'm the customer, and what's the deal? Like, I didn't have anything important planned, but I was just about to do something more like scheduling things. And I'm trying to think what it was because we had a lot of different events. And my mindset was, I wanted it to be a bit of a surprise. I was trying to tie it into things we were already doing. So there were a lot of like cool little opportunities where I could slip a proposal in there.
Mm-hmm.
But then I'm like, well, there goes that opportunity. And I'm watching all these cool opportunities slip away. So then
Like, which one?
Well, that's what I'm trying to think of because there were a bunch in that 2-week period. And then it got delayed a second time, but only 4 days. And also I had to be at my house when it gets delivered. So I'm like taking time with work to work from home instead of the office, making sure I'm there. I was like, goodness gracious. I'm pretty sure.
Gail.
Yeah, I know. I'm pretty sure response was just an AI email back to me of like, basically they're like, please type out a super, super polite response to this annoyed customer. Yeah. And then, some super, super nice like lady sends me a response. But it was still so annoying. I was just like, good thing I didn't actually book things, photographers, a location, engagement parties, our families, because it was like only with 6 days coming up where they delayed it an extra 2 weeks or however much time it was. It was close enough that I was annoyed. But anyways, finally arrives. As soon as it arrives,
I had to like use a tinfoil ring.
Yeah, like, right. I was going to start doing I was going to tie something, a little Edmond Dantes moment. But
good reference there.
It finally, yeah. I didn't read the book, although one day I will.
It's a great book.
One
of the best books ever.
Have you guys at least seen that movie?
I have. I haven't seen it in so long, but I did love it.
Oh,
I have no idea what you're talking about.
It's Count of Monte Cristo. He told me I didn't.
Count of Monte Cristo.
When we do the first time watchers, that's got to be on the list.
Yeah.
I haven't watched in a while, but
it's a great one. Anyway,
yes. So, anyways, it finally arrived on a Monday, and I was working from home. And then as soon as it arrived, I texted her dad, and we arranged to get dinner on Wednesday. I said also I'd love to include your mom as well. So then I was like, all right, cool. We're gonna get the dinner done, and then we go to dinner, and that's when Jen was home alone, and the whole thing, blah blah blah. And I was still waiting for a good moment, but I felt like we already missed a couple of good moments that would have been good opportunities, family around, whatever. So I was like. Eventually, I'm like trying to think of how much I already shared, but basically for the week and a half that I had it in my pocket, I had it in my pocket every day. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think if we recorded with it in my pocket. That would be pretty funny.
We went to trivia night.
Oh my gosh.
We definitely did trivia night. Mm-hmm. I think we may have recorded with it in my pocket at least once. Because I was just looking for good opportunities that would feel natural, and it was great having the ring in my pocket because I got to practice being nervous a bunch of times and I could bail every time. So the first time I was like,
if you did that proposal here, I would have fallen off the couch.
That legitimately was something I had considered like pretty significant. I was like, oh, that would be so fun in like a lot of ways, but it didn't. It felt a little too public. No offense, guys. I love you all. But I was like, oh, that would be really funny because it'd be so easy to set it up and it would be like all filmed. So we wouldn't miss any moment.
Yeah, for sure.
And so now looking back, we didn't get any real like film or anything of it. So we took a few selfies afterwards.
But again, I think that's so much better because it's just a moment between you two.
Right. So we did a romantic dinner in our town. Well, my town, your future town. And it... we were in a side room of the restaurant, but there was another family there.
Wait. You didn't say. We went, we were early for the reservation, and he gets out of the car and he's like scoping out like the back seating, the outdoor
seating.
just
walking around the garden for no reason.
And I was like, oh, whatever. I guess that's normal for him. Whatever. And then we go get a drink, and then
you didn't question.
No, because my dad does the exact same thing. I'm marrying my dad.
All right, don't say it like that.
He's a great guy.
You know what I mean. They always say the guys marry like their mom kind of figure, and the women marry whatever. All right, this is recorded. Cool. Anyway, I forgot what I was saying.
You were saying that I was acting weird walking around the garden and stuff.
And then we go to that restaurant, and we had
because I was looking in the garden. Like there could be a cool thing there, but it had rained, so it was kind of a pain. And that's when we get into the restaurant on time. We're in the
first of all, I also had zero clue because he kept saying we should go ring shopping so we get a feel of what things look like on, what style and stuff. Because I am indecisive sometimes, and I was like, I think I changed my mind. I think I want something different. Oh no, I like that.
That was
and then I think I changed my mind, and he never reacted at all.
Oh yeah, because the one time you were like, "Yeah, those rings that I showed you the other day, I changed my mind," and I'm like, "Oh, interesting. That's really fascinating." And inside, I'm just like, honestly, split second panic, and then I was like, no, she's not changing her mind. That was pinned on her board. She likes those rings. Yeah, I was like, this is just this is her.
She's like, actually, I want to go for that other one.
Yeah. Like, she's doubting her own decision, but I'm like, no, she's not changing her mind. She likes those rings. I was not worried.
You in my life.
So then we're at the restaurant. The family was there, and then they weren't leaving, and it wasn't romantic enough. It wasn't private enough and everything. So I was like, you know what? Forget it. So then her sister's bachelorette party was coming up. So we get back. The next day. Yeah. So we get back to my house and I was like, oh man, now we're just going to hang out. And it's like all the romance is gone. But I was like, well, let me just ask, just in case. So I put the ring, it's in a folded up bandana. That's how it could be in my pocket for a week and a half without anyone seeing.
That's crazy. And a pink one.
A pink bandana, yeah. And so
that's so Danny right there. That is so Danny.
Well,
pink bandana.
A pink bandana that my friend Blake gave me in 8th grade.
No way.
So I could wear it while we were snowboarding, and he could spot me on the mountain.
I love this so much.
So it's like, you know.
We had Blake with us.
Yeah. So Blake was with us that day. And so I put it on my bed, and then Jenn picks it up from across the room, and I'm like watching her, just like, don't you move it. So she moves it, puts down, okay, cool. And then I go over and I'm like,
I could have opened it.
I knew you weren't going to, but and you wouldn't have felt anything in it. So I was like, it's all good. But then I get over there and I'm like, hey, so Jenn, you had mentioned it'd be nice to have a photographer there. We could hire our friend Olivia. How, like, just paint a picture. Again, I was kind of leaning into trusting that she was so not on the same page with this that she thought it was
mad
weeks
that we haven't
or months
gone
away.
ring shopping. I'm like, are we even on the same page?
Because it would have given it away if she had all
At
thought
that
it was
moment,
there.
Jen is like, is he ever going to propose? This is getting ridiculous.
No, I thought we were going shopping for rings. I'm like, we're not even there yet.
And
so
that's
he's
why I felt
asking
bad,
me
too.
like a theoretical question.
Because again, trying to like be very careful with the timing of this. When it was like 2 weeks out, I was like starting to be like, oh yeah, we should go ring shopping soon, because I don't want her starting to think that I'm not interested anymore, and like, oh yeah, marriage now, changing my mind. So then I start I start bringing it up a little bit, and then the ring gets delayed. I'm like, shoot, now I'm really like, am I gonna be stuck ring shopping for a ring I already have? So then thankfully I was able to delay it enough, but I pick up the ring and I was like, so yeah, you know, how important is the photographer to you? And she's like, well, yeah, it would be nice, but honestly, it's not really that important to me. I was like, well,
green light.
right. Grab the ring and sit on the bed. And then I just kind of expressed how I was feeling about her. I'm not good with words. I'm an action man.
I was like,
so yeah, if in terms of love language, I'm like, so that's not too normal for me, but I'm like, all right, I'm going to do it. And rather than like a note, I'm like, I'm just going to say words out loud, as much as I hate that.
Danny's saying he's not good with words right now, while he's like being so eloquent with the story. And
the irony.
Yeah, kept going.
I know, because talking is great. I'm all about it.
It's so
but
cute.
in some moments, it's just like to put emotions into words,
it
especially
is so
in the
difficult.
moment, tough.
Yeah.
So then I was like, I think I forget exactly what I said. Well, I guess that's just for us.
Yeah.
But then, and then I like start
cute.
unwrapping the bandana.
No, you said, I have a gift for you.
Oh yeah, just a gift, you know, casual.
And I was like, oh, what is? I was like, earrings and necklace. I was like, oh, what's that? I was
slowly
so
unfolding
thrown
it,
off. I was
trying
like,
to
this is
find
so
it in the
cute.
bandana while I'm like, you know, and then I whip it out. She's like, what is that? That's not real.
Yep. That's exactly what I said.
Will you marry me?
No, that's not real.
Meanwhile, I changed into sweatpants too, so I was like comfy. I was like,
like,
get
oh,
this nice
goodness.
clothes.
That is the way to be.
And I was gonna like try and put my phone somewhere, record, whatever, but then in the moment totally forgot to.
I
It didn't
know, I was
matter,
like,
but
It would be
would've been
funny
so
to see my
easy to,
reaction.
too.
I would have
Yep.
done zero clue that he was setting up his phone or anything, because everything was just, I was just thrown off.
yeah. But again, because in the moment
And then I just laughed.
I
the
thought
whole
you
time I
were
was
more
laughing.
like picking up on it.
No.
Because again, I'm wandering around the garden like a weirdo, just like, oh, that's over
Yeah, but
here.
it's not. That's why it's not weird, because my dad does that.
Yeah, right.
Jen's like, oh, this is about right.
Saved by your dad again, setting the precedent for me.
I think I was on the phone too. So I
You were,
think
and that's why I'm like,
so you were,
I'll
like, a
give you
little
some privacy
distracted.
on the phone. Let me just wander around in the rain in the garden over here.
Yeah.
So yeah, it all worked out really well.
yeah.
And then we just took a few selfies and
laughing.
pictures.
We took a selfie right before. I was like, we didn't get a
Yep.
picture at dinner, so we took a selfie before and then after.
Oh.
So that was kind of cute
so
too.
nice.
But I think what I had said
It was
last time
sweet.
too is certainly still true. I loved that it was just the two of us
Mhm.
because there was no like instant rushing to do like anything.
Yeah.
We didn't have to
Yeah.
go like to a party or see a bunch of people.
Yeah.
We could just kind of sit in that and enjoy it, which I
Yeah.
thought was really cool. And then we could text and call people as we felt ready. So it was just kind of like cool to be not in a rush. It was just the two of us, which was awesome.
And a lot of
So
people
awesome.
have like those really nice like photography,
Yep.
and then they go
Yep.
right to like their party, the surprise
Yeah.
party and stuff. which is cute too.
No, it's great cute, in its own way, but I liked it.
Yeah, I feel like that was perfect for you guys.
Like,
and then I was like, all right, see you in a few days. Have fun at your bachelorette party.
Meanwhile, my nails were neon yellow because I was going away for my sister's bachelorette party.
Well, I was going to propose on Saturday, but you're like, oh, I got a nail appointment at 1. I'm like, I guess I better wait. So I waited.
And he was like, aren't they nice enough? I was like, yeah, but like, no, I need to change or something. So,
and when because I asked confirm. When you said, oh no, I need to change, I took that to mean, don't propose now. My nails are not ready for you.
It's just funny, the mindset, right? When you think you're giving away all these tips on like a surprise. Meanwhile, the person you're trying to surprise has zero clue. Like you could literally say things in front of me or have people and I would have no idea. Anyways, so that 15-minute story.
That was so good.
I love it.
Sorry for whoever asked.
I'm sure they loved
but
it.
It was low key and it was fun. And it was good.
Yeah. It was in my pocket when we recorded the podcast on April 29th.
How do you know this?
Wow, April 29th. Everyone go back. See how nervous Danny was. He was sweating then.
Maybe. Oh, you know what? I don't think that was us. That was Kaylee recording that day. We might not have been here. I don't remember. But I was looking back to see another day where the ring got delayed, what it might have been. Like the podcast from the 22nd.
Yeah.
7 Tribesmen.
Because we had to take a break, and it's probably when you got it and everything like that.
Yeah, maybe.
That's so great.
So, it was a whole thing.
Wow.
It's
That's
great.
the whole story.
And I was listening to one of our podcasts, and I told the story of asking a girl out and drinking the moment of clarity. That was Jenn. So that whole thing too. There are a few of those moments where if you're paying close attention, you would see some of the hints sprinkled throughout the pod.
That was your asking out story of your like celebration, right?
Celebration, dancing around the fire. Yep.
You had a beer called Golden Victory.
Moment of clarity.
Moment of clarity or something.
Yep.
Actually, that's
I remember
really
everything in the podcast.
A very fitting name. Yeah, because you have to listen to it like 5 times by the time it's posted. Some now. But bruschetta, amazing,
that was
John.
Good, I'm glad.
Delicious.
I don't know what you did to those.
Probably got some.
They were so
sweet.
Chef
basil in my teeth.
Boyardee.
Yeah, Jen's calling me Chef Boyardee, which is an insult. I
think. Does that even exist anymore? I don't even know.
I don't know.
Yeah, it does.
Maybe.
I wasn't allowed to
I'm
eat
saying that with confidence, but I don't really know. But
you always
I
do
feel like
that.
it should.
I believe him.
No, it does because how could it not?
Totally a thing.
I feel like if it was
and then I
killed,
Google,
I would
I'm
know.
like, that hasn't existed in like 10 years. And I believed you.
There's a lot of love that's happening in these chapters, or a lot of like unknown love happening on a transition to Harry Potter.
Oh,
Nice
transition.
Who do you think's going to end up together in this book if everyone doesn't die in the end?
Well, Hermione seems kind of annoyed with Ron not noticing her.
Yeah.
And vice versa.
Yeah.
There's
a little tension going on between them.
Girls.
Wow, that's so interesting.
You didn't notice Ron?
Because I thought Ron was more than Hermione, but honestly, you're right. It was both.
Ron had a few lines where he was like, I have a few lines where she's talking how Harry is like the hot tamale, pretty much.
Yeah, she was giving out.
She's
her
like,
hot
Harry,
tamale
you're
award.
like, you've never been more desirable.
Oh yeah.
She's like, and it helps that you grew a foot over the summer too. And Ron's like, I'm tall.
I'm tall.
and there was like another line of like injury, something
wanted compliments from
funny.
her.
I
Yeah, it
love
was
that part.
and he's like, you got hurt at the Ministry of Magic. And Ron's like, I had the tentacle. I saw
The
the tentacle marks.
Yes.
That was so funny.
I feel like Harry is like subtly noticing Ginny appearing and disappearing in a way.
Do you think that they're going to end up together?
I don't know.
So there was a...
Yes, I do.
Do you...
I think he
filled with
asked
conviction.
us, right?
But there's so much going on. There's so much information in these chapters.
So there was another little cue too. There was something called the Amortentia, which is what?
The love potion?
Yeah, nailed it.
I don't know the name,
And
but I'm assuming yeah.
To every person, it smells different.
Do you know the name? Oh,
and there was a description. Harry felt something, smelt something, smelt something flowery that he had smelt at the burrow. What was that?
Oh my gosh, that's right.
And then there was another
Ginny.
line. Hermione doesn't explain the last thing that she smells. What is the last thing that she smells?
It's
The
something
last
with
thing that
Ron,
Hermione
I bet
smells?
you.
Yeah,
I bet you something
That's
with
interesting. I must have missed it. I was
because
so
it didn't.
distracted
Yeah,
with
it
Harry.
didn't talk about.
Let me
It
open
kind of
this
She
cut it
didn't
off.
want to say the last thing.
Yeah, she said two things and then she cut off the
yeah.
last thing.
Now, what does Ron smell like?
Yeah, that's a great question, actually. What does Ron smell like?
Because that's what this must be. I sure hope so.
What is Ron's scent?
Wait, that was...
You know what fascinates me? People knowing scents.
What do you mean? Like you're smelling something and being like, oh my, that's...
Yeah. I feel like everyone does that. You're like...
I'm not good at that.
But if you smell something, it can take you back immediately to like something happens in your childhood.
Oh yeah, but like I can't name what the smell is.
Yeah, for sure. I can't know what the smell is.
That's what I'm talking about. Describe it?
No, that's what I'm talking. I'm thinking about like books when they're like, oh, this person smelled like musk and all this stuff. I'm like, I don't... Do people really do that? Or am I on the outs?
There's candles that have that scent, so I know what it smells like now.
Oh, okay. So you'd be able to...
But describing it, it's like woody, earthy, and you have to say it with like a tone too. So
well, yeah,
earthy. You have to say it very earth-like.
Sultry.
Yeah, that's the word. Yeah.
I'm trying to find this.
Or like the smell in the air when it's gonna snow. Do you know that?
Oh, that's a great smell.
Yeah.
What
are you guys' favorite smells? Yeah, you can't.
That's one of them.
That's a great one.
Yeah. I love the fireplace with that smell, like winter for Christmas time.
Yeah, it's just winter. That. I feel like I would call it winter smell.
Yeah. With the pine needles, the fireplace going, and then if you were to open the door, you kind of smell like snow coming. That would be like
that's a great one.
like winter cozy one for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then summer ones are good too.
I love the smell of spring, like freshness. Like
cutting grass.
So I love the smell of winter, but like grass and like flowers, and it's just like a mix of everything there. It smells like hope.
There is the park by my house. It's like walking distance. They have all flowers up there, and when there's like a certain gust of wind, it literally blows the smell of the flowers, and it is amazing. Ooh. I don't know what flowers they are, but you walk outside and it just smells like air freshener. Like what is this?
Awesome.
Yeah, doesn't always happen, but. It's really cool.
A lot of people are saying they love the smell of books, old books in the attic.
That is
smell
true.
Of a bookstore.
That would be me too.
Antique stores do have that smell to them.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. Cigars. I like the smell of them only.
Yeah.
Gross though.
Right.
I would never try one. But I
did. Don't do it.
It was not. One of my friends, he didn't know how to smoke a cigar, so he's smoking the cigar. We're all didn't know what the heck he was doing, so he's like doing full pulls into his lungs,
like breathing it in.
The next morning he wakes up and he couldn't speak. He was like, "Hey guys," he's like, "Why does my throat and my lungs hurt so much?
They're on fire."
I know.
You're just supposed to like have it in your mouth, then blow it out,
puff it.
Or, I don't know.
Mouth, you know.
I don't smoke too much.
It was terrible. I didn't like it.
Cigars for special occasions.
Yeah.
I like the smell of it.
I like the smell. Just not.
Other good smells like just classic coffee. Delicious.
Yeah, it is a good one.
Good coffee shop. You get some pastries and coffee in there.
Don't say that.
Yes.
I want
it. Something about that is great.
Can we ditch and go to a
coffee shop?
Let's ditch and go to a coffee shop.
All right, guys. That's the podcast.
Sorry, guys,
we'll see you later.
We're off to a
Our
coffee shop.
engagement story and what we like to smell. And so
great
much Harry
podcast.
Potter.
I did say 2 houses down. Whenever I walk west past that house, it's I think a Middle Eastern couple, and the aromas that come out of that house
spices,
are
probably.
Second to none.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love
It
that.
is. I walk by that house and she's baking something or whatever she's making. It always smells immaculate in that house. Oh, they've got a big garden in the back. Oh, it's incredible. Anywho, welcome to the podcast. I'm John.
Jenn.
Danny.
And Kristen.
This is Harry Potter and the First Time Readers.
That was a long intro.
We have no smoothness or any like whatever that
It
is.
was great.
Hey everyone, there are a lot of things to be aware of for things going on with this podcast, and I'm just going to list them off as I always do, but there's a few new things as well, so don't skip this. First of all, this is the biggest thing that just happened. We just added membership onto our YouTube channel, so you can just subscribe for $5 a month, and you can just enjoy all the perks that come with it. There's going to be some extra content there, some extra little tidbits of video content and like producer's commentary, all that kind of stuff that we're going to go along with. So if you want, go subscribe to us there. You can also check out our live streams when we do the live streams for the podcast, because you can also if you want, donate some money there just to help support the podcast in any way that you can, which would be awesome. So this is a plug for our YouTube channel. Our YouTube channel is probably the biggest growing platform that we have at the moment. Spotify is still our number 1, but I think YouTube's probably our number 2, and then Apple Podcasts is our number 3. So go just give us ratings, reviews, subscribe to us on YouTube, because we're growing somewhat fast on YouTube, which is really fun and exciting to see. But go check us out there. Go join a live stream. I'm telling you, they're really fun. There's just a bunch of Harry Potter nerds geeking out about all the stuff that Danny, Jen, and Kristen are saying, and it's just a lot of fun. So go check that out. As always, go check out our email or our website, firsttimereaders.com, our email, firsttimereaders@gmail.com, if you want some merch. We have some merch coming out soon. Our designer's had to delay a little bit because he's had some stuff going on. So he's hopefully getting us some designs by the end of the week. That's what I'm hoping. And then we're going to start selling some merch. So if you want some merch, that'd be great. Go check out our Patreon if you want to support this podcast in another way, which is at First Time Readers, Patreon / I don't know which one. First Time Readers. And then everything else that I always say. But these chapters are really good. I'm telling you, I know it's a 2.5 hour long podcast, but it's well worth it because toward the end, oh man, some of the stuff that they say is just the peak of entertainment. Especially some of the stuff that Jen and Danny, obviously because they're first time readers, they're the first time readers. Some of the stuff that they're going to say, if you've been a reader for a while, is just going to, I don't know what it's going to do. It's going to make you giddy, but it was so enjoyable to just listen to them rant on their theories. And even though their theories might be way off, it was so much fun to just listen to them yap over their theories and talk about what they think is going to happen in this book. It's been so fun. So enjoy these chapters 9 to 11 of Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. Oh, wait, there's a brand Homesick that has a whole Harry Potter collection. Wow, all 4 houses in Hogwarts. Their house smells.
Really? That makes
There's a
so
candle
much
collection.
sense.
I know. We should. Oh my
goodness,
make a
an
potion.
Accidental pun, I promise. But that's amazing. We got
really good.
That went over my head.
I didn't even hear
That
it.
makes sense.
That makes so much sense. But like, oh man, what would they smell like?
I know. That's I know. This is a whole side discussion. We'll do this after all the books. What do the Hogwarts houses smell like? And then we'll make sense for them. And we'll sell candles.
Let's do it.
And become millionaires. But somebody already did it apparently.
Yeah, somebody did it. Yeah, not as well as we're going to do it.
Yeah, of course.
We'll put our own spin on it.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, I did find that line that Hermione got cut off. She smelled the amortentia, and it was freshly mown grass, new parchment, and she turned slightly pink and did not complete the sentence.
And a belch.
Yeah.
A big old Kristen belch.
She didn't finish the sentence. So what did she smell? That's the question.
I think it surprised her though. Like she was just going,
That
like
is
listing it, and then she was about to say,
you're right.
And Ron's shampoo.
And then she's like, oh
I can't say that out loud.
Why do I smell that right now?
And then maybe it hit her, and then she's like, wait, what? Actually, that's actually.
Yeah. Maybe
that went down.
These chapters kind of feel like characters who don't know they love each other finally realizing that they have feelings for the other person. Like they've been friends for so long, and they're like, dang, I actually think I love this person. It's kind of cool. But give me a summary of the Half-Blood Prince, chapter 9.
All right, the kids start their classes, and we see Snape in. I shortened it to. People call it Dada. Can I just say that for Defense Against the Dark Arts?
That's how I write it in my margins.
And Slughorn in potions. Harry gets a potions book that has notes in it, and it belonged to dun 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 the Half-Blood Prince.
Or princess Hermione.
Well,
according to Hermione.
Well,
she annoyed me in that part.
Do you believe Hermione though, or do you think princes have to be guys?
It would say princess if it was a girl.
Princess.
You think so? You think? Yeah. Okay.
But I just thought it was funny because she's just jealous. That
I thought of you at that moment.
Yes, right. Like she wanted to be like, yeah.
She would be saying that, and I'd be like, meh.
It's kind of true.
Yes.
Follow Hermione's logic. How do you think that there's any ways out? Like, could this possibly be a female, a woman who calls herself a prince?
It could, for a number of reasons, be that way. I don't think it is, but if it was, it would be. Wait, Who wrote Frankenstein?
Mary Shelley?
Oh wait, no, that's not someone. Someone who was writing under a different name because they felt like they had to be a guy.
She did. No, Mary Shelley did. She wrote. Well, she originally wrote under a pseudonym for a guy, and they published it later as who she was.
She finally gets the credit for it.
I think so.
So no, that's what I was thinking, but then I forgot that I was thinking it would be like a guy's name or something. And even J.K. did that when she was writing another book, not about guy girl, but just about writing it under a different name. So if the Half-Blood Prince is calling themselves the Half-Blood Prince on their own book instead of just using a name like a normal person, they're trying to shield their identity already. So what better way to shield your identity one step further than making people assume a different gender than what it actually is? So then it could be a good way to hide your identity.
Actually, that's true.
Yeah.
This is a question for the end, but we got to ask this now. Who is the Half-Blood Prince? Do you have any idea who it could be? Any theories? Could it be a founder? Could it be someone that we know presently in the book? Is it someone completely unknown?
I still thought it was like a Slytherin heir.
I think it's Karkaroff.
Why?
He's dead.
Wait, why do you think it's Karkaroff?
Or is he dead? I think it's Karkaroff because of the potion they were brewing in class.
Why?
Let me look.
Because the ingredients are from... Where was he? Up in the cold?
So
wait, time out, because this is the line too. And they found Igor Karkaroff's body up in a shack up north. The dark mark has been set over it. Well, frankly, I'm surprised he stayed alive for even a year after deserting the Death Eaters. Sirius's brother, Regulus, only managed a few days as far as I can remember. So that was the line that we got for who Igor Karkaroff is death.
I feel like the Half-Blood Prince is not dead. But you also
you think okay.
Dead.
Well, I'm not convinced. The Half-Blood Prince could be dead. Especially because we just got this story about like some other weird stuff with another theory of being the Slytherin heir would be that Voldemort has a cousin he's never met through his mom's brother, the one we don't like, that his name is escaping me, starts with an M. So we don't know what happened to him. We just know that he was in Azkaban. By the time he came out, his sister had a baby with Tom and his dad was already dead. What if he went on to have his own son who would be the Slytherin heir, who could be in school being...
Igor Karkaroff?
Well, no, this is a separate theory.
Whoa, this is so interesting.
Because that's the only generational like timeline that would make sense in my mind. I'm assuming there have been enough versions of this book that it would have to be like not that long ago.
You know who
it also could be one of them when they were at Hogwarts, if they were.
Well, were they at Hogwarts though? Because they seem like they were like homeschooled, those two, or something.
But the reason I think it's Karkaroff, there's kind of a web of things here. The first thing is talking about the Inferius being seen on 178, which leads to my forked theory.
What is that again?
No, it's basically in potion class.
I get to share my theory.
Oh, okay, nice. Basically in potion class, they make a crazy looking potion, and the potion is
Draft of Living Death.
The Draft of Living Death. Thank you, John.
Totally like dead serious.
What? That's like an easy one.
It is. And I'm just trying to find where...
When you read the book 20 times, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so the Draft of Living Death. To me, that either means a way of turning living people into Inferi or dead people into Inferi, or faking your own death, being alive but looking like you're dead. So my theory is the Half-Blood Prince perfected, well, a whole book's worth of recipes, but this one in particular, Karkaroff, and that's how he faked his own death. With this potion of living death by looking like he was dead, dark mark and all, body found, but he's not really dead. He's the Half-Blood Prince. He knows how to brew this stuff. Easy peasy. He can mix it all up. So that is my theory.
I love Jen's reaction.
Oh my gosh, that's funny. I can see that after you explain it that way.
Right? Wouldn't that make sense? But the question, this entire theory is based on pretty much nothing, but it's based on the idea of that potion, living death. What does that mean?
Nice.
It's not addressed at all. He goes through these other potions, explains what they are, talks about the Felix Felicis, goes through everything. He doesn't even say what living death is. So I'm like, but they were discussing Inferi earlier in this chapter. I think that was even in class. So it could be the Inferi for good or bad, for whatever, turning living people to half dead or dead people to half living. Or it could be a way to fake your death.
It's so funny as you're explaining this. I'm like, that's actually a really great theory. And I'm mad that you're beating me.
No, what's your theory? It could also be good.
That sounds good.
Jen's like, actually.
Than me.
She's so mad though.
No, but that's the beauty of a dumb theory like this, because there's not enough information to even refute the theory, because it's based on literally one potion.
Yeah, but it's pretty good.
And everything else is circumstantial.
It sounds
so it would never hold up in court, but I hope we get some more information that we can take some steps down this road. But Harry just basically, he's still doing classic Harry stuff where, like with the Marauders map, he's like, wow, cool map. Great. I'm going to go to bed now. Or like, he's like, wow, cool book. Awesome. Yep, looks legit. Flip through it for 3 seconds. I'm like, when I'm going to bed, I'm flipping through this book by candlelight all night long to see what kind of awesome things are written in these margins.
I'm not gonna lie. At first, I literally thought you meant Harry Potter. Like, we're finished reading, and Danny's literally flipping by candlelight, reading Harry Potter.
Yeah.
It has to be done by
I want it
candlelight.
to feel like it's in Hogwarts, so I can only use Lumos or candlelight.
Okay.
Wait, now it's my turn.
Oh yeah.
But
Jen,
I want to
it's
ask
your
Danny
turn.
one question,
okay.
if you let me.
Yes.
Slughorn, he doesn't explain what Draft of Living Death is.
No.
Have we ever heard what Draft of Living Death actually is in the books?
I
don't know if I want to
because
actually
you're
communicate
asking
this
that,
at the moment.
This is interesting. So it's
But
been hinted at or
That hurt.
said directly before.
We've heard it once before.
Wow, nice.
And
Let me
Voldemort.
the
think.
person has explained what it is,
Oh, so we should know. Maybe, or we wouldn't.
but it was a very passing note.
So
I mean, if
Danny,
anyone were to
you
pick it
should
up,
know
you.
it.
Yeah, but
Well,
probably got notes and
it also could just be like a misnomer, so I'm maybe not even thinking correctly. But I'm trying to think if there was something like in the
Time's
vein
up.
of the Longbottoms.
wow, you guys are like getting married or something.
Yeah, Jen, what do you think? I want to hear your theory, and I want to hear what the living
No,
death is.
you should think harder.
No, but I'll think while you're theorizing.
Okay. It's not even good. I just wanted to talk.
Yeah, of course.
What was John's original question?
Oh my goodness.
No, we were going with Hermione's theory. And if the Half-Blood Prince could have a pseudonym, right? And it's actually a female because she said, oh, it looks like a woman's handwriting. And then when we got to the next chapter with the daughter, that was a squib. It's not really a squib. I thought it was her book. And she kept to herself because she got bullied at home. So she was working on potions and stuff. And then she had the love potion for Tom Riddle.
Right.
So I thought it could
Good
be
at
her
potions. It's a good thought.
book. And because her dad was
This
so
is good.
not who could care less about her, kept calling her a squib and making fun of her.
Yeah.
That she was like, oh, I'm going to show you. I'm going to be a half-blood prince. Or like, I'll be some prince.
Because
And
she would be adept at potions because she made a love
she's
potion.
pure blood,
Yeah.
but her dad can't stand mud bloods or
Watch it,
muggles.
watch it.
boy,
Muggle
you're gonna
boys.
Whatever. I'm sorry. I'm not at that level. Anyway. This is a side note. I was doing a bar class on my app, and she is a dancer, and she goes she says the name of the move in a dance terminology, and then for all you muggles out there, she said that? And I was like, what?
Like, am I hearing things, or is that just happening?
I was like, that's me.
that's great.
Anyways, I always say it that way, so you guys are gonna have to get used to it. I can't think of the other
instead of
word.
saying Muggleborn?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I say the same thing.
Yeah, but
She's
no
like,
one
"You're gonna
ever
have to just
accuses
accept
you.
me." You're saying this.
No, we'll teach you. It'll be good. We'll make sure we call each other out.
Don't worry, I am fully getting called out every time.
But honestly, we've all said it a couple times on the pod, and we're like, oh, I forgot. Oops.
So did you find your theory?
Nope, that was it. But I'm just trying to think of, if anything, if I remember any mention. I was thinking of the Longbottoms and how they're kind of mentally not there. And it feels like that's a sort of a form of living dead. And I was like, I wonder if it was something along those lines of like, oh yeah, they got hit with that potion and they're like walking around as if they're alive, but they're basically dead already.
I don't remember that.
But that, I can't think of why I would think that. I'm probably just making it up, but I wonder what book it could be. It's a powerful potion. It must be, because life and death are big, important things. Yeah. So living dead. Ugh.
On a lighter note, does Lavender like Ron? Because Hermione's remonstration was drowned by a loud giggle. Lavender Brown had apparently found Ron's remark highly amusing. She continued to laugh as she passed them, glancing back at Ron over her shoulder. And Ron looked rather pleased with himself. Are they going to start a relationship?
To make Hermione jealous? Yeah, maybe.
Wow. But does Ron actually like her? Because he was caught staring at her in the common room before, or later in this chapter.
But it was after this. So I think that was just in his head. And he was like,
maybe.
Well, maybe. Which I do think actually happens sometimes, where you're like, you're not thinking about it, but then someone puts the idea out there. Oh, someone has a crush on you. Then you're like, ooh, do they? Ooh, they've never looked so cute before. Well. So it could be a little bit of that. But I think Lavender was faking it, and she is not interested. But I don't know if I'm making that up. I almost wanted to ask you guys of just like, did I make that up? Or first of all, which one of the Patel twins did Ron go to the Yule Ball with?
Yeah.
Was it Pavarti?
It was Pavarti.
And so they're all, close and laughing about this. Feels like Pavarti might have orchestrated this to sabotage Ron. Maybe. I think that because I feel like, didn't Lavender leave Quidditch practice?
Yeah, and
she was mad after practice, but Ron got the spot.
Well, no, she wasn't mad after practice. She was mad because Hermione was the first person that ran up to Ron, really, really happy and congratulatory. And she essentially got to him first, and she left mad because of that.
Okay, good. That is better, because I was thinking it was different.
I should have snapped a picture of that.
Jen was looking at me under the mic with like, ooh, gossip.
I took that to be she was disappointed that Ron made it.
Wait, Lavender was disappointed Ron made it.
Well, that's what I thought, because I thought it was like, oh, maybe she's already dating that guy we don't like who also tried out for Keeper. And I thought it was maybe one of those, or Pavarti was like trying to get Lavender to like do this whole thing as a not a joke, but like a revenge on Ron, because I thought she was mad for other reasons. But if she's mad because she was jealous of Hermione, then there might actually still be something there.
Why are you trying to eat my ring?
Misread that.
Sorry, my chat is going wild.
Because our theories are that good.
Or ridiculous. I'm just asking them a question about something, and they're helping me out a ton.
Yeah, good cover. I like it.
Okay, here's another line, and this is a random question off of this, but I just wanted to ask this. McGonagall is talking to Neville. She goes, "It's high time your grandmother learned to be proud of the grandson she's got." Rather than the one she thinks she ought to have, particularly after what happened at the Ministry.
Aww.
We love McGonagall so much.
Oh, yeah.
But do you ever think that she could go bad?
Bad?
No.
Like, how?
No, I don't think she could. How?
But Jen, that's an interesting one. Like how? Like if you think through all these different characters,
Holly potion.
We're not going to ask all
Holly juice.
Yeah, we're not going to ask. I'm not going to ask for every single character, because that would take the whole entire podcast. But think in the back of your mind, in what way would some of these characters go bad? How would Harry go bad? How would Ginny go bad? How would Ron or Hermione or Dumbledore or even McGonagall? What would happen in their life that they would turn?
Under a spell bad, or actually turn?
Oh, like that. Okay.
Well, both. Yeah. It could be under a spell bad. Are any of them so pure that only like the Imperious curse could stop them. Because Stan Shunpike is an example of this. Do you think that he's gone bad or not?
Yeah, he could be bad.
So he could be, but you don't know.
I don't know, but I mean, he could, I wasn't as offended as Harry. I'm like, Harry, you spent like a few weird minutes with him years ago
on the bus,
and then you watched him be creepy with Avila. I'm like, I don't think he's like, oh, never Stan. I'm like, yeah, it could be Stan. He could be evil. What do I care?
Was that the guy who drove the bus?
Stan Shunpike was the guy. No, he didn't drive the bus. He was the
Who's Avila? I don't remember that.
Well, that was.
I think it was the Quidditch World Cup. I
think so. They were just going through the field. I think that was like when they entered the woods when chaos was happening. They were just like, oh, hey, look, there's a guy in Avila's. I'm like, what the? It almost felt out of place even then. It felt creepy. Like all these dudes are surrounding Avila. But that's the only exposure we have to Stan. He didn't give me the warm fuzzies. Yeah, he could totally be evil.
But you don't know. That's the bottom line. He could be good. He could be bad.
And it would be a slow and steady thing, you know. Her gambling debts catch up to her.
What if Dumbledore is bad?
Yeah, I mean that's like another question. Right? What would cause him to go bad?
The rotting hand, and he's just waiting for the moment.
Yeah, like is he deceiving everyone in this book? Is Dumbledore deceiving everyone in this book? And he's really bad because something happened with Aberforth or something like that with his goats.
Nice.
I don't
know.
I could try to imagine a Dumbledore going bad scenario.
Or like did the duel? Did something happen in that duel that
they swapped bodies?
Yeah, right.
Whoa.
Polyjuice. He's been Polyjuice this whole time. Could you imagine at the end of this book takes off the mask and
like why does he have that ring? That's suspicious,
right? But what would do you think McGonagall could ever go bad? Are any of these characters? Could any of them go bad at this time?
Sure. I have no idea.
But not necessarily Voldemort bad.
Yeah.
Voldemort bad is too distinctly out there.
I just don't get what is his goal? Like just to live forever?
That's a fair point. That is part of the problem.
Like that's what I can't figure out. What he wants to outlive everyone and kill everyone that's not pure blood.
Yeah. He just wants to live forever.
He's not pure blood.
So
yeah, it's a great point.
I could see Dumbledore going bad according to our definition of good and bad for his own idea of what the greater good is, where we could see him as doing bad things because he could oppose Harry is what I'm trying to say. Because I'm going to say, according to this book, Harry will be our good, so to speak, and the people who oppose him are the bad. And I could see someone like Dumbledore opposing Harry.
I don't know about opposing. I feel like more sacrificing for Harry than opposing.
Yeah, could be. Or like if we started to see things we would see as bad, like if Dumbledore says, we've got to sacrifice Hermione, like I used a time turner, I did some whatever, and there's no way out of this. Hermione is going to die, and Harry would say, no, people don't have to die, we can do it without killing people. And he's like, there is no other way, Harry. And Harry's like, I'm not going to let you do this. And then Dumbledore says, I'm going to do this. Next thing you know, they're battling, and we start viewing Dumbledore as bad. And Dumbledore would think he's right, Harry would think he's right. And I think it's that same idea could only be how someone like McGonagall goes bad. It'd be if she saw something as being good, and we could almost relate to her, but Harry would oppose her. If she thought, wow, we could educate all the students everywhere, we could double the size of Hogwarts and start, I don't know, we find out you can turn muggles into gambling. Yeah, right. She's like, and I'd be the headmaster? I've been trying to overthrow Dumbledore for years. If there was some greater good and a sacrifice that had to be made that McGonagall thought was worth it and Harry didn't. I don't know what that would be.
Yeah.
Though.
And one of the reasons I'm asking this for you guys too is because at this point in the books, the last one hadn't come out obviously yet. And if you went online at any given time before the last one, or even this one had been released, there were theories on every single character and how they thought this character had gone, or this character had gone bad, or this character really was a Death Eater. Like someone just mentioned in chat that there was not mass, but there was a whole article written on Hagrid and how Hagrid is a Death Eater. Whoa. Is it possible that Hagrid could be a Death Eater? Like at this point in the books, you're like, that's ludicrous. But if you have like some small little facts, that's what JK's great at. She puts small little facts in there where like you come back to it and you reread it in a completely different light and you're like, oh, wow.
It was there the whole time.
I know.
And I missed it.
Yeah. And Hagrid is unaccounted for a lot of this.
Yeah,
and we don't trust Aragog one little bit.
Yeah.
And so is Dumbledore, right?
Dumbledore's been gone a lot too.
And Dumbledore both.
Like, where has he been? But who's going to win the Quidditch Cup this year?
That's a conversation for you two.
How do you like Gryffindor's chances of winning the Quidditch Cup?
Not great, but every team must be going through the same thing.
Yeah.
So maybe it's not so bad. We like them.
Did Ron get better?
Seems like it. Depends on whether we believe if Ginny was giving it easy for him or not.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was just Ginny, though. Was
Yeah,
it?
the way it sounded like every person got to take a shot. Or at least certain people. 5 of them did. But Ginny got the last one.
Ginny's literally in front with them all the time.
Now, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially that she's on the Quidditch team.
And it's crazy because in the movies, she's barely even in the ones that she should have been in more, she was barely in them. You don't even know her as a character. That's why I like her, though, in the books. She's so cool and so tough. And all the guys like her.
She is...
Tomboy.
Yeah. She is easily the best flyer on the team. I'm not joking. I feel like she's a better flyer than Harry. Like... And I feel like in the books, like it paints Harry as maybe a little bit better of a flyer than her. But Ginny has like an aggression that Harry doesn't have that is incredible. Like that's why she's so good as a chaser. She just scored like 18 goals during the thing. Yeah, she's such a hot tamale.
You didn't hear that.
Here's a few other lines because I want to book it through some of these other questions. Snape set off around the edge of the room, speaking now in a lower voice. The class craned their necks to keep him in view. The dark arts, said Snape, are many, varied, ever-changing, and eternal. Fighting them is like fighting a many-headed monster, which each time a neck is severed sprouts a head even fiercer and cleverer than before. You are fighting that which is unfixed, mutating, indestructible. Harry stared at Snape. It was surely one thing to respect the dark arts as a dangerous enemy. Another to speak of them, as Snape was doing, with a loving caress in his voice. Then this happens later. His shield charm was so strong, Snape was knocked off balance and hit a desk. The whole class had looked around now and watched as Snape righted himself, scowling. Do you remember me telling you that we are practicing non-verbal spells, Potter? Yes, said Harry stiffly. Yes, sir. There's no need to call me sir, Professor.
That was good.
Yeah.
And deserved attention.
At this point, yeah, definitely deserved attention. Yeah. At this point, do you think that Harry is a better wizard than Snape?
Nah.
I think he caught Snape off guard.
Yeah, I think it was that.
Do you think that Snape is a powerful wizard at all? Like he maybe is a little bit, but
well, the occlumency, whatever.
Yeah.
What the heck?
Occlumency.
Okay, and legitimacy, right?
Legitimacy, yeah.
Whatever. Yeah. He's really good at those. That seems even harder.
Yeah.
Than these shields and stuff.
I know. It is specialized too. Some people are good at certain things, I guess.
But I feel like that's a mind game and he seems to be manipulating everyone. So he's probably really good at that.
Yeah. And he just seems so confident. So even if he isn't that good, I think of him as being good because...
He fakes it.
Yeah, he's just so like calm. Like, honestly, even this response, I'm like, how did he not freak out at Harry? Like, he was, like, annoyed and gave him a detention, but, like, I thought it was going to be worse. It almost, like, didn't threaten him. Like, it felt weird. I was like, I thought he was going to blow up and actually hurt Harry or something. And then he just, like, has a little comeback. I was like, huh, okay. So, yeah, I do think of him as being pretty good. I just don't know how good. We haven't seen him pushed too much.
Yeah.
Except for Lockhart one time, maybe.
Yeah, but going up against anyway.
Yeah, so true. So true.
Yeah, he's just been in the background pretty much every single book, and now he's like in the foreground a little bit, and you're like, who the heck is this guy? Again, it's a lot of questions for him. But then they go off to their potions lesson. And what do you guys think of all these different potions? What do you guys think of the Amortentia, the love potion?
Dangerous.
Yeah. And Slughorn mentions that. He says, when you have seen as much life as I have, you will not underestimate the power of obsessive love.
Bellatrix.
Oof. Right?
Actually, that would be really good. He must have given that to her. She'll do anything for Voldemort.
Could he have given it to all the people?
That would be great. I'm like, how else does he have a following?
I mean, it's such a good line too, because then you see the power of obsessive love in the next chapter with Merope and how she gave Tom, this random muggle, a love potion and she became obsessive over him. It was a little scary.
But also, it's the only other person she was seeing besides her abusive family, it seems like. Agreed, so that's a little different.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
But
what do you guys think of Slughorn through like this whole lesson?
Also, I want to know how big these potions are, because any kid could just get a vial and stick it in all of these potions and steal them. I'm like, all these
There
ones?
must be spells protecting.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you did say that.
Because otherwise, it's too dangerous. And
the Felix Felicis especially, like,
I know, that's what I was like, I'm like, the winner? I'm like, any kid could just stick their hand in and grab it.
Slughorn's only used it twice in his life, and he's giving away 12 hours of this
schooler.
potion to a random kid. And he's like, yeah, but don't use it in competition.
Yeah. He just says like generic instructions. You're like, any high schooler is going to like listen to you.
It just doesn't make any sense. And if it can be divided and given in smaller doses, someone can microdose this stuff as long as they want, split it amongst their friends and ace tests.
What would Harry use this for?
Well, at the least, you don't have to study and hope it's multiple choice and just start circling answers and you're going to get them all right.
Yeah.
And if he cheats and does something with Quidditch,
I was like, you take this right before you fight Voldemort, and there you go.
Right. Just load up on this stuff.
It's your lucky day.
I know. It feels like it wouldn't hurt to have this basically any time.
Yeah.
So just save it for an important moment and a little bit of extra luck. Great. But it's weird.
So strange.
Yeah, the potions are really fascinating. Like, this definitely seems like a more
They
advanced
have to
level
continually
of potions,
take it. It's not like a one-time shot.
What?
For it to keep
Felix
its effects. Any of these potions.
Yeah. Like, it's a limited amount of time.
You have to just every,
what were the potions? Love potion, Emeritentia.
Hours.
Yeah, you have to keep taking Emeritentia. You have to keep taking Polyjuice, because that was another one.
Yeah, Polyjuice, I remember that one.
Taking, what was the other one? Veritaserum.
Oh, yeah.
It's like a few drops will tell the truth.
Tell the truth, yeah.
And then the Felix Felicis, the liquid luck, which you have to keep taking. He took 2 tablespoons at breakfast and he had 2 perfect days. So a tablespoon, I guess, covers a day. So let's do the math here.
Tablespoon
you can't
a day.
overdo it. Too much of a good thing is not good.
Exactly.
But even the things about like overdoing it, they weren't as bad as I thought.
But he said it's poisonous.
Yes, you're right. He did say that at the end, but it was funny that he started with like, it makes people very overconfident, and I'm like, well, that's like, yeah, it might be a side effect, but that's not exactly a deterrent. Like, someone's overconfident, like that makes sense, but someone could think, oh, I won't become overconfident. That's fine. I'll just remind myself that it's all the potion doing it.
I also thought it's a side topic of this, but the book, right? Everyone is messing up. Like, who is this author that is that bad at potions? Because they're all following this book.
Yeah, and it's
and
terrible.
The Half-Blood Prince is the one fixing it. So to me, it doesn't make any sense. I'm like, why is this the author?
Why are we still using this old book?
And why are you still, exactly.
And is the Half-Blood Prince an author by now, making new potion books for everyone to use?
But how did they figure out what worked? It was just like,
right. But like, I'm just thinking some of these things just seem so clearly better that I'm like, why are they still using a book that doesn't have these simple things? Because the point is to make it easy for students to learn, or anyone to learn, right?
Well, if Hermione can't learn it, then there's something wrong with the book.
Agreed.
Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm. So true.
So that's why she was getting frustrated, and I don't blame her.
Yeah. I mean, again, I think it's comparable to cooking. Some people can just follow instructions and it's good, but like when someone knows their way around the kitchen so well and like knows exactly what to do with garlic, like there are some recipes that I will get, then I only follow this certain thing. Like with garlic, some recipes will say, like, you know, cut up some onions, cut up some whatever it is, celery or garlic, and then put it all in the pot, let it like simmer for 8 minutes or whatever it is. And because I've done this a while, I'm like, I cut up the onions first, put those in, let those soften, then you put the garlic in the last minute, And then because you don't want it to get bitter,
I was gonna say,
right?
you don't want
it
to
to burn.
Long, no.
I know you never want to cook garlic for that long. So it's like simple things like those instructions are wrong. So I feel like the same is kind of true in potions, where they just give general things, and like someone who really knows potions and knows how these things react with each other, they can pick certain things apart and then just put those all together and like make something a masterpiece.
So you would love potions.
Maybe sometimes I think.
You thought you were a herbologist.
I'm Chef Boyardee right now.
That was a real throwback.
But what do you guys think of Slughorn? Because he's making mention of even Hermione, who's getting things right. You kind of, in a weird, endearing way, you kind of fall in love with him in certain parts of this chapter.
Yeah,
because
he
says
seems like a good teacher.
Yeah, because Hermione's talking about all these things, and she goes, "No, I don't think so, sir. I'm Muggle-born, you see." Harry saw Malfoy lean close to Nott and whisper something. Both of them sniggered, but Slughorn showed no dismay. On the contrary, he beamed and looked from Hermione to Harry, who was sitting next to her. "Oh, one of my best friends is Muggle-born, and she's the best in our year. I'm assuming this is the very friend of whom you spoke, Harry?" "Yes, sir," said Harry. Well. Take 20 well-earned points for Gryffindor, Miss Granger," says Slughorn genially. You kind of love him for this stuff. He's like a likable guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're right. And I feel like I can't tell if he knew that was going to be such an encouragement to Hermione and to Harry, and just like it was just a very nice thing to say too, to like bring it up, to give Harry the credit for it, to like it felt very, very friendly. So it feels like he's a good teacher. He's friendly.
Prince Slughorn.
And this is a book that he learned out of when he was a student.
And he gave it to Harry.
He is teaching the class. That's interesting. It was not an accident at all. He wants Harry to learn these things. He made sure Harry got his book.
Or maybe McGonagall. She would be the teacher of it though, wouldn't she? If she was that good at potions.
Well, that brings up a good question of, do we think it was an accident that Harry ended up with this book?
No. I don't know.
And if it wasn't an accident, who wanted it? Dumbledore? Hey, Slughorn, I just gave you a job, so only one thing you got to do here. Make sure Harry gets this book.
Because wouldn't the owner of this book, if they're alive, wouldn't they wouldn't keep it? They have them memorized?
Yeah, right. That's a good point, too.
Mm-hmm.
Why leave behind all these valuable notes?
I would want to keep it. So maybe they are dead. Maybe I don't know.
They got killed while they were at school?
No.
Oh.
I don't know.
Moaning Myrtles?
That's why I'm thinking it was actually placed there. So like Harry wasn't supposed to take potions, and then they changed Snape to be dark arts person. Dumbledore is like, you needed to take potions, so we're gonna change the teachers. So now you could take potions. I'm gonna put Slughorn there because he's gonna give you the book that you need.
So Dumbledore's orchestrating this whole thing?
And writing
he
in the
manipulates
margins.
everything, I thought, right?
And he's just sitting up at night writing all these notes out, just saying, Harry's going to need this stuff. Let's get him
he
up to
needs
snuff.
to get up to speed with these potions.
I mean, I don't mind that theory. It's not bad.
I know.
It could be.
Yeah. Dumbledore is a master at that, so you're curious because you just kind of saw him manipulate things with Harry and Slughorn before, so you're like, is he behind this too?
And he keeps saying he's an open book now, but he's not.
Yeah, I know.
He's dodging this crusty hand thing all day.
I know,
like he's asked you like 5 times.
Like so many times.
Not the time. Like it can't. It probably could be 5 words. Like
I know.
If I was in Harry's shoes, I don't know if I'd be like sassy about it, but I'd be like, "Yo, Dumbledore, you literally said you're an open book now, so just tell me the story." And like, what happened? You told me at the end of the last book you kept things from me, and look what happened. Now you're keeping things from me again.
Yeah, and then you pull the Sirius is dead because of you.
Oof. So it does feel like they should be able to, but we don't know. Could he have good reason? His reasons in the past didn't seem good enough.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure he has good enough reason now to not tell Harry. And why does he
have the ring? Be like, hey, you have that ring now.
You're right. He is keeping these things from Harry.
And you only wore it to get Slughorn back at school.
Yeah. Oh.
He wore the ring to get Slughorn
because he never actually had a ring. What you were saying that he did always have it.
No. I said we just don't know. It didn't address it, but now we know for a fact he didn't. He just got it.
I knew it.
Yeah, I knew it from the beginning.
Jen 1, Danny 0.
She's like,
okay,
you just
I
found
didn't predict the ring. Okay.
Yeah, you did.
Nice. What does the ring do?
Guys, wait. Time out. We're going to get there.
Okay, yeah. Sorry, we're jumping
We're
like
not
2
in
chapters.
ring discussion yet.
Yeah.
We were.
Right,
There's
right.
not
Beginning,
one ring to
so-
rule them all
Okay,
right here.
but here's what's on this
Started
page right
all
here.
like that.
Did Harry smell?
John doesn't like when we turn.
Yeah, because we jump
We just
around
need
like
order.
a bunch of crazy people, and John's like, we literally go in order and we don't miss anything. I'm like, yeah, it's true. And meanwhile, we're jumping from book to book,
Because
chapter
you
to
ask
chapter,
for
like
theories
wild
and then you
kids.
just jump.
That's true.
So when Harry smelled the love potion, he smelled
Harry
the
smelled.
wooden handle, the whatever else. He smelled the flowers from the burrow. Then Ginny approaches him later, like in a couple pages,
Yeah.
and he smells those flowers. My question is, was he smelling
Ginny.
Is Ginny those
Was-
flowers?
Well, yeah.
Or is it just like the burrow scent and Ginny just has the burrow
I
scent?
think or does Ginny wear this love potion on her neck or carry it around or feed it to Harry so Harry
No,
is
Why
smelling
are you such a
Ginny?
skeptic
I'm just gonna cut
all
that
the
off
time?
right here because it's not the love potion itself that smells like that. You like if it smells different to every single person, so you can
Right.
have one vial and it would smell different for every single person in the room. So you're just saying she has this around her
She
neck.
Well, I
wears
was
it
saying,
Like the scent would
No.
be different for everyone.
So yeah, but whenever Harry sees her, he smells the smell that he smelled when he smelled the love potion smell.
That wasn't confusing at all.
No, I'm just saying, like, because I'm thinking whenever Harry does,
I like your
smell
offshoot
the
theories. I
love
don't know about
potion-
this one.
This is too far. Because I was
literally cut
thinking,
you off.
Ginny, we were talking about that.
Never
Ginny
done
could be
that.
maniacal. She could be the
Ginny's
one.
Well, I was thinking, why do all these guys love Ginny? Is she this smoking hot and she's this sassy?
She's the
or
it girl.
is she taking it from her mom? You know, the love potion recipe. It's a family recipe. Her mom already admitted to
Her
using
mom
this
admitted it.
on Mr. Weasley. So
Great
Ginny
point.
has access to this potion.
Ginny
So-
is using it as like perfume.
Well, I'm just saying, like, Harry smells
keep
the
it on
smell
me
of the
at all
burrow, and he keeps smelling the when he smells Ginny, he's reminded of the burrow because it's one of his happy places, but also because she's wearing the perfume that gives him this flowery smell, like in class. I guess we don't know enough about it, but either way, he's got a crush on Ginny. That is
I like your theory.
undeniable. And I'm starting to think Ginny is out there brewing some love potion.
Interesting.
That's what I'm
She's
saying.
Probably capable of doing that.
We've never seen her do much with potions, but why wouldn't she be?
Yeah.
She's so good with jinxes and other stuff.
Everything.
And
She's good
if her
with
mom is
everything.
showing her, you know, she's home crying one summer, and none of the guys like me. I'm just the worst, and the older brothers are so cool, and blah blah blah. And mom's like, "Yo,
Let me show you.
keep it so secret." But you
Yeah.
know what, Ginny? This is gonna turn things around for you. So,
She doesn't need.
She got
extra.
confidence. Yeah.
but you know what? It does give the confidence, and
She also
just
almost
growing up, but-
died, so I feel like after that, you're like, I don't care what anyone thinks. I almost died, so
Yeah.
I'm just
Yep.
be me.
yeah, that's fair.
New lease on life. So
Um,
either she had a new lease on life because she almost died, or she's giving everyone love potion. One of the two. Can't be
Yes.
any other
I
option.
love these two different ideas.
What do you guys think of liquid luck, though?
I don't quite understand it. Why isn't this the most popular thing out there?
Again, because it's toxic.
If it's
Can't take it every
overused-
day. It's probably unbelievable. Like even Slughorn said, it's unbelievably difficult to brew.
Oh, okay. That's part of the key of it then,
Yeah.
I guess.
Wait,
so
so,
none
then
of
that,
them
so
do
then
that.
Must be
it
really
has
good.
to be Slughorn's book.
But you know what else is toxic? Alcohol, cigarettes, caffeine. You know, these are things that we're like,
Alcohol
oh,
is
toxic.
liquid. That's
but
why they
oh,
call
maybe not
alcohol
caffeine.
liquid luck sometimes.
Ooh, yeah, you're right. So I could just see people getting addicted
Liquid
to
courage.
this.
Yeah.
And wait, is there gambling? There is gambling in the wizard world.
McGonagall.
So you could place your huge bet
Poor McGonagall.
down some of the liquid luck, and your whole life could change in one day.
I feel like you would down
So-
it before you place the bet.
Yeah, good
So you
call.
know what to
Beginning
bet
of the
on.
day, then you place the bet. You go to the Quidditch match that night.
Because you're going to take
all
liquid luck.
together.
Oh, crap. I shouldn't have bet on that.
Yeah. So that's how McGonagall can get
What
out
would
of
you
debt.
guys take liquid luck for? Danny's down
Hmm.
in some before he proposes.
Yeah, yep.
Before he bought the ring.
Yeah. So it's
I have to
immediately,
wait
not 14 days.
6 weeks. 6 weeks. Not 14. That's a lot.
I don't know. I feel like there aren't too many things in normal life that require it, but those big moments, it'd be nice to have.
Asking a girl out.
I guess, but well, that's in the same territory as Love Potion then, where you don't want to get caught in that classic. What's her name? Marop?
Yeah, some people are saying it's Merope.
Merope.
That's how he says
like,
it.
so
Merope.
how does he say it?
Merope.
Merope. So you don't want to be in that Merope situation where then you think, oh man, this was magic or something out of the person's control. Do they even really like me? So it would be tough to actually do. If you had liquid luck, you'd be like, yeah, I'm going to down this. But it'd be better to resist and say, nope, however it goes, it goes.
And what's the regulation on this? You said it's like you can't do it for gambling or sporting events, but like,
how would they
know?
No, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, unless there's like a way to drug test for liquid luck,
Like maybe somebody like Moody has some like
playing
his eye, he can see it a little bit or like get a sense for it,
or like a counter potion that before you go out and do a sporting event, everyone has to drink a little,
and it like negates other potions.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, there is a thing that negates potions, right? That thing that Snape was teaching them in the first book with the thing that the goat has in its stomach. Or
you know what it's called?
Oh man,
I kind of remember the goat
it was
thing.
Bezoar or a Bezoar.
A goat.
Oh
stomach.
yeah.
It's a stone in the stomach of a goat,
and you have to like keep it in your mouth.
But it can save you. No, it saves you from most
poisons. Okay, so it doesn't negate spell or potions,
but it negates poison, I guess. And liquid
but
luck
there
is
could
toxic,
be something.
So.
Ooh, wow, nice. So there could be something similar to that negates potions.
I guess when you write essays in your margins, you remember everything, right? I mean, when I write stuff
I'm
down.
the Half-Blood Prince.
We just
Danny's
solved
book
it.
is, yeah.
You weren't supposed to give it away.
I'm marrying a prince.
Also, Harry beats everyone.
There's your Hallmark movie.
There it is.
Harry beats everyone in class at something. Is there a time in your guys' life when you beat everyone else in a class at some like guessing game or like some test or something like that that stands out at you?
Probably not.
I have one small one that I remember. That's why I asked the question because I just
of
remember.
course.
Yeah, nice.
I think Danny would have been there, but in music class, we had to guess what time something was. And it was the dumbest little thing, but I felt so good doing it. We were guessing the meter or the time of something, and it was a tough one. And our teacher goes, "All right, so who thinks this is 4/4?" Entire class raises their hand, and I'm going there sitting. I thought it was 3/4. And then she goes, "All right, everyone, are you sure about this?" And everyone holds their hand, and everyone's like, "Yeah, it's definitely 3/4." And this is like in second grade, first grade. So,
oh my
god!
God.
Everyone puts their hands down, and she's like, "Who thinks it's 3/4?" And I raise my hand, and she just starts cackle laughing. She's like, "Ha ha ha! Jonathan's the only one that got it right." And I was like, "You got it right!"
That's such a good feeling.
Great. Felt so good in that moment.
Awesome. And you're confident enough to stick to it.
I was gonna say I probably would.
I'm wrong. Yeah, that's what I think too.
That is
nice.
Great.
I don't think I have anything like that.
Shall be something.
Well, MVP, does that count?
Yeah. Oh, no, you said that story a while ago, right? When you were just sitting up there, your coach was like, "Oh, this person is this, and this." In your head, you're like, this person for sure.
Yeah. I was like, "Oh, that's great. She is all those things." And then they said it was me. I was like, "What?"
That's so good.
That was actually a funny one. I wish someone recorded my face.
That is a great one.
Yeah, nothing comes to mind.
There's nothing going on up here right now.
But if anything does come up, it'll be in my notes later.
I'll text you tomorrow.
Halfway through this podcast, we're gonna be talking about the ring, and Kristen's gonna be like, "Wait, I remember one."
Takes me a while.
We'll talk about chapter 10, House of Gaunt. Give me a quick summary for this one.
Danny, you take this one.
Oh yeah, nice.
That is really nice handwriting. This book is property of the Half-Blood Prince.
It has nice handwriting in the book, yeah.
My summary is super short anyway.
So we're learning about Voldemort's parents, basically. I didn't really do a whole summary, but this is where we go into the Pensieve, and I say we meaning Harry and Dumbledore, and
we
all do. Together, we are following Ogden. I assume a relative of the person who did Fire Whiskey?
Fire Whiskey, maybe?
Maybe after he retired from being head of magical law enforcement.
After this.
So then he goes to the Gaunt house where you got Mr. Gaunt and then his kids. I think that was confirmed. That's at least how I read it. His son is kind of crazy. And what's his name? Starts with an M.
Morphin?
Yeah. Crushing.
Yeah,
I just
nailed
found
it. And so we kind of go through that, and then we learn how the daughters
Merope.
How Merope seduces Tom Riddle with some love potion.
But Tom Riddle was married already?
No, it sounds like he was
someone.
flirting with
Engaged,
a little
think, yeah.
darling, but we don't know much about it.
Yeah. So this chapter does open up, and it talks about Ginny kind of scolds Harry for having this book, because obviously Ginny followed a book and it led her to almost dying, like we said. Should Harry even be following the advice in this book? Is there something in this book that's going to lead him astray?
I mean, if he's just following the potion ingredients, I don't think so. But I know there's margins to have other notes. But then he should run those by Dumbledore. But he hasn't even brought it up.
I know he hasn't. Yeah, I know.
He doesn't.
That's the other
he's
thing.
going back to his old ways.
I know.
He doesn't
maturing.
question things. He just jumps in. So he's like, I feel like he's excited maybe like, oh, I can actually be good at this now. Yeah. So he's just like, ooh, I'm going to hold on to this.
Harry's a think second, do first kind of guy.
That's really great
laugh at that.
for your life.
Wow.
I was waiting for that.
That actually went over my head. That was your fault.
I know. Like, is Harry just an idiot to be following what's in this book?
He just assumes good intent too quickly. Hermione was like, you got to be cautious. Ginny was telling him to be cautious. They've been wrong before, but that doesn't mean they're wrong now. Hermione reported the firebolt. No need. It was fine. But
there's like, this could be like the serious kind of thing where Harry is gung-ho about it, and then Hermione's like, hold on, and Hermione is right.
And there's not enough risk reward here. There's not enough reward. Like, what's he getting? A little extra praise in class? Of course, we love that. 3-4 signature, you know, it's like getting that stuff right is great. But like,
it's a buzz.
Dumbledore has already told him what's at stake. He already knows he's faced Voldemort. So if there's even a 1% chance that it is something sabotage or whatever.
Well, what could it, I just don't get what it could be.
I don't know what it could be either, but like, it stands out, you know, like this isn't normal. So whatever it is, I feel like bring it up, ask some questions. Even if you don't say everything, hey, Dumbledore, does Half-Blood Prince mean anything to you? You know, like just talk about it, get it out there. You know, is that
would you have done that in high school, you think?
I would have asked those questions in sneaky little ways.
Yeah.
I would have gone to Slughorn, to be honest.
Definitely.
Slughorn collects people. I'd be like, hey, I heard an interesting rumor about somebody called the Half-Blood Prince.
He's really good at conversation.
And then you start like talking about it. Just see how people react. Because a reaction, if it's a name that somebody knows, you would instantly know, is this a good person or a bad person? And that's kind of important. If they're still alive, and if they're like, ooh, such a sad story, then you're like, ooh, tell me the story. And Slughorn, he deals in drama. You know, he loves this stuff. So if you get him talking, he'd spill the beans. Does he know? Maybe. But if I was in Harry's shoes, try something. Don't just follow blindly, because that gets him in trouble every time. So like I'm saying, if I was in his shoes, even in high school, I'd probably be using this book and I wouldn't be that worried about it. But I would be curious, even if it wasn't for Hermione's reasons of like, it could be dangerous. I would just want to know more about this, because it's like, this is
seems like
a treasure map. You know, you can learn a lot about this person, and they're clearly really good at what they do, and what else is hiding in those pages. So yeah, it'd be exciting, but I'd want to know more.
Walk us through your process, Danny. How are you going to go and get Slughorn to give you this information? What are you doing? Are you bringing him, you know, like something that he really likes? Or are you just like,
you know what? I would bring him something that he really likes. It's a person. You got to bring him, like, what you do is you make it so that Hermione isn't going to go to the dinner or something. And then Harry says, oh, I'd love to bring Hermione. Although I didn't even think she was a good candidate, because I didn't think Slughorn would like that. But you bring things he likes. So he likes goodies, treats, little sandwiches. He wants a little high tea. That's fine. You bring some of that stuff, and you bring a person that he would find intriguing, and then try to bring up the Half-Blood Prince as organically as you can. I'm trying to think of, is that My Big Fat Greek Wedding or some show or whatever, they say it's a great idea, but we have to make them think like they came up with it. Yeah. So you just have to get Slughorn to think that he's the one who came up with the story. Like, oh, this reminds me of the Half-Blood Prince. So if there was a way that you could do that and have Slughorn likes to talk. He likes to hang out. So if he likes to talk, this is great. You just have to get into a position where he's in a good mood and you're with him with some other people, preferably less people or only people you can trust or something, and bring it up somehow.
Like do it after everyone like leaves the Slug Club and like
try and bring it up casually.
By the way.
Yep. But I'm curious how you could bring it up. I think trying to figure out what year this book was, if there was a date in it, that would help. Yeah. Was Slughorn a teacher during this time? Was this before his time? Since his time? Hard to say. But if you could get any more information, there's no Dewey Decimal System in their library like we discussed. Yeah. They can't find Nicholas Flamel, the most noted alchemist in like ever. So maybe there's no Half-Blood Prince book out there. But there could be.
Yeah.
There could be. So
Hermione's definitely going to search the library for everything about anything with this. So maybe she'll find some like little tidbits of information for that, But yeah. What do you think of Snape and Slughorn in their respective roles and like the new roles that they have?
They're both pretty good at it.
Yeah.
Honestly, even Snape talking about Defense Against the Dark Arts, we don't see a lot of class, but it was like pretty good teaching. It was a little much because it was dark arts, but like I felt like that's how a class should be run. He's passionate about it. He's talking about the subject and going into specifics. Like I felt like I was learning. Same with Slughorn. It felt like a good class, They're all learning legitimate stuff, some hands-on activities. They're double lesson with the lab. So yeah. It feels like a good setup.
But remember when Snape covered for the dark arts and he had them reading the book?
Trying to reading about Wolverines,
blow up Lupin's spot.
I know. That's right.
That was stingy, yeah.
Anyway.
There was this one line that made me immediately think of Jenn because it says, well, I've decided that it's time now that you know what prompted Lord Voldemort to try and kill you 15 years ago. For you to be given certain information. I'm sure Jen's like, all right, finally, it's about time.
Oh, yeah, I know. And it was like nothing.
I know.
I was excited. It was something, actually. But
it's little tidbits. It's like you want
It's just
more.
like, I feel like it's every like 15 chapters. It's like, oh, yeah, you're going to get a little information and then read half the book and you get a little more.
Because then
Dumbledore is like, oh, it's a story for another time.
Yeah, I know. He just keeps saying that, which is frustrating. But do you think that he's right? He says this one line, I told you everything I know. From this point forth, we shall be leaving the firm foundation of fact and journeying together into the murky marshes of memory. Love good like alliteration or whatever that is. Into the thickets of the wildest guesswork. From here on in, Harry, I may be as woefully wrong as Humphrey Belcher, who believed that it was the ripe time for a cheese cauldron.
Like for brewing potions?
Yeah.
Like he tried to make a cauldron out of cheese?
He was
brewing.
That's a bad idea.
Yeah, it sounds like a bad idea.
When I heard that, I was like, yum.
Like fondue.
Like, yeah, exactly. That's what I thought.
Oh, Humphrey.
That's not very comforting, though.
Yeah, I know.
You're like, okay, Dumbledore. Like,
but it's cool because usually Dumbledore comes with like presenting I've already got all the answers. Here they are. So I like being a part of his process where at least he's making Harry think. He doesn't know. He's like, it's guesswork. Let's figure this out together.
And he got that guy's memory before he dies.
Yeah, what's that all
so
about?
Weird.
Chasing him down, getting memories. And can you only use a memory once? Or afterwards, can he pull it back out of the pensieve? And he had it in like a container?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
like, does he get to keep that now?
You can extract
is it a one-time thing?
Like
he waited for Harry so
no,
that he's together and it's gone.
Yeah, I think you're able to keep.
And why is Dumbledore hunting? Why did he hunt down this memory? What was so important about this memory?
I think he was trying to look back to history of what could have gone wrong for Voldemort to become who he is. So he's going to track down people that have seen different stages, all the way to parents being young. I don't know. That's what I thought.
Yeah, the story is still not so solid. We don't know a lot of details. Like we don't know many of these things as fact.
What was crazy for one quick second? I thought Merope was Dursley. I thought, she was treated so poorly that she is Petunia. So I thought that she was treated so poorly that what's his name? The ministry guy pulled her out of the house, got her adopted by the parents. So Lily and Petunia were adopted sisters. Sisters by adoption.
Nice.
And then I was like, oh my gosh, that's so... Danny was right this whole time. She's a squib. And no wonder she hates magic so much. And that's what I thought. I was like, oh my gosh, what if she is Petunia?
That's pretty intense.
It was pretty good until we read later.
That's why she hates Harry so much.
Yeah. But that's why it made sense to me. I was like, she hates magic so much.
This is, I mean, you even bring up another good question too. Is a squib made or is a squib born?
Sounds like a little of both. She was not a squib.
She wasn't. But if she lived in that situation continuously, would she have become a squib?
If she wouldn't have had a chance.
Yeah.
And it could have been even worse because...
so then you can suppress it, like you were saying.
Yeah. Oh, or they even said, like, Dumbledore, I think, might have said the stress or the way she was being treated made it harder for her to do magic. So once everyone left, it was like a weight was lifted and she could actually do it. But it was also weird because they kept telling her to do magic. So he was like throwing the pot at her and like, do magic. And it flew across the room, but it didn't, and it broke. But what if she was too like sad or self-conscious to even try magic? Then after not trying magic for a while, she might have just had absolutely nothing.
Feelings matter, obviously, when it comes to performing magic or whatever you call it.
Feelings matter when it comes to performance.
Indeed.
Sorry.
You put my mind
you guys are influencing me here. You guys are the ones that started that.
I know, and now you two are taking over.
I wasn't thinking it before. My mind was in a better place.
Me too. It was
a likely story.
Yeah, right. What do you guys...
I'm thinking that...
Oh my goodness.
The missing information is one thing, and also the missing people. So one of the theories is that this, not Merope, the brother, could be the half-blood prince. If we're talking about prince of like the Slytherin heir, like he is the Slytherin heir, or at the time he might have been prince and now he'd be king according to this heir, because we just don't know where he is. So he could be gone and running away, and Dumbledore is trying to find out what happened to this dude.
Yeah.
Where is he? You know? So this is just detective work. Like, we need to gather all the clues we can, and nobody's seen him since he left Azkaban. So let's look at what happened before he went into Azkaban. Did he say anything? Did he hint at anything? So... Or
maybe there's something that they have, like some item or some... heirloom or ancient magic.
Well, there are at least two heirlooms we know of: the locket and the ring. And Dumbledore now has the ring. So, I mean,
okay, let's talk about that. What's the ring? What's the importance of this ring?
Well, it cracked with something, right?
Or was it always cracked, or did it crack? So it wasn't cracked to begin with.
It was a solid. I thought it was described as a solid black stone.
And you speculated that Dumbledore's hand took the hit, but the ring absorbed it on the other hand?
No, that was your theory.
Okay. Yeah. I was just throwing out. I don't remember.
Those theories are bleeding to other
This sounds a little wild. I
don't know. You're trying to blame me for that wild
you.
theory?
Is it that bad? Yeah, that theory's ridiculous. Jen, what even made you say that?
You can't pass that off on other people. Come on, that was yours.
All right, I'll absorb it. I'll take credit. I like the theory.
You're nuts.
I'm not convinced, but I don't like the theory that much. I'm not convinced that's it.
You just dissed your own theory. You wanted to put it on me.
No, what does it mean, though? What power does the heir have?
Okay, John, let me tell you.
I'm like trying my best to get you to talk first. Otherwise, I'll answer first all the time. It's the worst.
Yeah, that's so sweet. Just
I'll just be over here. You know?
No, yeah, like hearing your thoughts.
So what do you think? What does the jewelry do?
Jewelry is just for show, didn't you know?
Hey, wait a second.
Tells people what?
I knew it. This is like a comedy show.
This is so great. I know. If you're just listening to this, you need to go watch this. This is so great. Subscribe to us on YouTube.
Holding my lips.
This is so good.
It's for show. I think it takes too long and he can't wait. The ring is to symbolize how pure blood you are, I thought. So that's the ancient like heirloom. I thought was just like if you had this ring, you were like a descendant of a pure blooded family.
For Jen, it always comes back to ancient magic. Something ancient.
I know. Because I know it's gonna come back.
Could be right. Because I think it does symbolize that. And then
you think it has power?
Maybe.
Ancient magic.
But what I was brought back to is the last time the heir of Slytherin mattered. The last time the heir of Slytherin mattered to us was when the chamber was being opened. Secrets. And remember when that happened in Hagrid's day?
Tom Riddle was able to open it.
And didn't Aragog come out?
No.
Or was Aragog involved in that somehow?
Aragog was
Or was that
blamed.
just Hagrid's pet?
It was really just Hagrid's pet, but
and
they
thought that was
it.
Yeah.
Oh, they thought okay, so that
was a scapegoat.
Because I was trying to connect Aragog to that because of Dumbledore having spiders and having the ring. I thought it would maybe give him power to like give orders to Aragog or something.
Maybe Dumbledore was trying to help Hagrid make.
Could be totally separate.
Better.
Yeah, because the fact that Aragog's getting worse, I thought.
But wait, what about the ring?
Have something to do with that? Oh, I thought maybe that's how you open the chamber.
With the ring.
Well, because the heir gets the ring.
Oh.
So I thought that might be how you open the Chamber of Secrets. And also the reason I was like, oh my goodness, because in the last podcast or however many ago, I said jewelry matters now with the ring. And the only other jewelry we saw was the 1600 galleon locket in Borgin and Burke's.
You think that's the necklace?
Could it be this locket? Because, and if it is, then what does the locket do? Or is it just that it's that rare? Like, but it would make sense why it's so expensive if it had power or if it was the heir of Slytherin's locket. But would Voldemort let his mom's locket sit in a shop? Feels a little weird.
Did Dumbledore get the locket? Yeah.
Could that have been when Draco dropped off?
Oh, wait, did he drop something off? Because I was thinking he was
looking to repair something.
Looking to buy something and looking to fix something. Oof. Well, that would be pretty killer right there. He's looking to fix the broken ring on Dumbledore's finger, and that's why he can't bring it into the shop. And he's looking to buy the locket, because then Draco would have the locket and the ring. Well, assuming he somehow gets them both. He would have both those things, and that would be the pair.
Boom.
So he's saying, I need you to fix something. He says, bring it in. I need to see it. Can't bring it in. And then I need you to hold that for me. We know it was there. Hermione saw it. 1,600 galleons. Maybe that's not even how much it was, but he gave a high price because he knew Hermione couldn't afford it. And then that would be enough to like get her off his case. Huh. But in my mind, that's a viable theory.
Look at us teamwork.
Of broken stuff and something that's a pair. But why? Why would, according to this theory, Draco
ancient magic,
want it?
duh.
For ancient magic.
Yeah.
And why wouldn't Voldemort already have it?
You put it in a potion and it does something great.
Well, wait, but speaking of, what goes in the locket?
Voldemort became
he just blew his own mind.
That's how he came back alive. It was a potion.
What goes in the
ancient
locket?
magic potion?
The blood of Salazar Slytherin is in that locket.
It really was, though. That's kind of where we came
That's
from.
why I say it.
Well, what? Is that crazy?
Gross.
Wait, what?
A little blood in a locket?
He said the blood of Salazar Slytherin.
Or at least his toenails or something.
Obsessed with the blood of something.
I know.
Everyone's blood matters.
Because it does. It can
What
bring the
blood
Dark Lord
type
back.
are you?
I don't remember.
You're so obsessed with everyone else's blood, but you don't even know your own.
Everyone else's blood. Yeah, you know, we
It's
go
like the
around
only
in
blood that
life
matters
always
is in
talking
the
about
books.
blood and stuff. But what else is in the locket? Because lockets, They have something in them. They open. You know what I mean?
It could be a piece of hair.
Or is it just a picture? Is it like does it release something?
Some lockets don't have anything in them. They're just called a locket.
Well, they could be empty, but like why not be a pendant then?
Why do you know so much about jewelry?
You just wanted to hunt for your ring.
Yeah.
He's probably researching everything.
I was researching pendants, an engagement pendant. I changed my mind about that.
You're in the jewelry mindset, I get it.
I guess so. Yeah, as part of my Harry Potter research, I was researching all possible jewelry. So what's in this locket? Maybe just a picture. Nope. It's more. Actually, it could be a picture.
How about you?
No, but can you imagine
answer your own questions?
That's so perfect because Dumbledore talks to his portraits on the wall. But imagine if you had a picture, like Salazar Slytherin or something, and he's talking to his own portrait. His portrait is living his whole life with him. Then you wear this thing. You got a portrait thing that can whisper sweet nothings in your ear all day long.
Actually,
and be like,
I kind of like that.
Then you're just like, yo, portrait, what's up?
You'll
the angel and the devil on my
yourself.
neck. And
What?
It'd be your little life advice, you know? You're McGee and me. It's your little guy.
It's your life coach.
So that's a really niche reference, but
I don't know.
it's just a cool idea that it could be a portrait.
So that's what you want.
No, that's just one of the 5 ridiculous theories we came up with right here. But if you can bring Voldemort back, you could bring Salazar back. Yeah.
So you think like the locket would be a way to bring Salazar Slytherin back, or
Well, if
is
it
it
was
just
his
like
blood.
his picture?
But that's actually backwards.
So could his blood be in the locket, or even in the ring?
It could be his blood,
because the ring is dark, right? It's described as dark.
Yes.
So is it possible that the ring could just be dark because there's blood residing in the ring?
Coagulated blood there. Yeah.
A little like
that's the
Jurassic
pure
Park
blood
kind of thing.
Yep.
in the
Stuck
ring.
in amber. Yeah.
But why would it spill out? Because it's dried up.
It's a great question. I don't know.
If it cracked.
And wait, who had the locket? Merope had the locket.
And we've not heard anything else.
And the father had the ring. So why? Like, because that felt
Who
odd to
is
me.
their mom?
That she
Did
had
she
a
die?
gold thing on. I'm like, they're treating her like garbage, but she wears a gold chain on her neck. That felt weird. So I'm just wondering if there's something
that's why
to
the
that.
half-blood
she's
prince kind of sounded interesting to me.
She is the princess.
Like the prince. Yeah, but she's like gonna stick it to her dad.
Just like Harry asked, though, this isn't even like a side note on this. Is like the stuff that's in this? Why does he have to learn it? Why is this the private lesson that Dumbledore is doing with Harry? Is it just important to know Voldemort's backstory? Because again, he goes, "Sir, is it important to know all the stuff about Voldemort's past?" Very important, I think, said Dumbledore. And it's got something to do with the prophecy. It has everything to do with the prophecy.
Because it's like you want to get all the pieces together and have different sets of eyes on things, so you're not missing anything to find a weakness, I would think.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense, but is Harry really the best second set of eyes? Like, of all the people he could bring.
No, because
it's
he
relevant
has
to
to be the person to perform.
So
this
Harry might be able to
act.
learn something here that would like help him defeat Voldemort.
Or does he think Voldemort is going to try to read his mind and he'll see that he knows information on X, Y, and Z?
That's interesting. What if, like what if Voldemort doesn't even know some of this stuff and Harry's going to be the way that he learns it?
Right. He doesn't know that
That's how
he's
you mess
half
with
blood.
Voldemort.
That's interesting.
Oh, so maybe he's not.
No, he knows he's half blood, though.
9. Yeah. Wait, he know. Yeah,
Voldemort knows he's half
He's
blood.
just lying to all of his Death Eaters.
No, he's not lying to his Death Eaters. His Death Eaters know it too, or his
They-
Death Eaters they might not even know it. But he openly said that in the presence of Wormtail and Harry when he came back. He gave his little speech
In
and he
his
said,
spiel.
"You're
Yeah,
standing on the
that does
bones
sound a
of
little
my-
familiar. I don't remember all the
of my
specifics.
Yeah, but I
filthy Muggle father."
Oh.
Yeah, you're right. And
So at least Wormtail knows about it.
Yeah, but no one would believe Wormtail.
I know. I guess that's the
Yeah,
question.
but-
Would he explain this? Would he tell this to his Death Eaters?
He
No,
also
I
believes
don't
that
think
his
so.
mother is dead. He did not know his mom.
Yeah, but
So
Dumbledore
we-
believes his mother is dead too.
but they're still investigating. So we might find out a little bit more juicy stuff. Because we don't know for a fact. Well, to be honest, we never know if anybody's really dead in this book.
Yeah.
We don't even know if the father is, but it's safe to say by age or something else, we can assume he is. I'm reading it as if he is.
No,
but
it actually
both of these kids. No, it said that. Yeah,
you don't
it
believe
said he
anything
died
it
of
says.
whatever
Okay.
after he got out of Azkaban. But we don't know if either of the kids are dead. They both could be alive. They'd be old now, but they could be alive. So. Yeah, I'm just trying to think.
How old? Dumbledore?
Well, Voldemort.
No,
we were doing some math on Hagrid would be in his 60s, so Voldemort would be 2.
Yeah.
So in theory, they would have to be. She was 18. It was kind of implied that everything with Tom was
happened quick.
Kind of quick, yeah, a year or two,
so
maybe.
20. She was 20. When
she was 20. So we would assume
maybe McGonagall's age. I'm just kidding.
So we would assume that the brother and sister would be in their 80s right now.
Oh, wow.
As old as 85, maybe.
Yeah. But again, like that's so Dumbledore seems like he's maybe not keeping
70s?
secrets. Dumbledore is older than that.
Older than 80?
Yeah, it's kind of assumed in this, I think.
I'm not assuming anything. That's what I'm asking. I have no idea.
Well, we don't have a lot of information.
Yeah.
Again, we just know he was.
Like,
he's
how
older,
old do wizards live to? Like 200? 100? 150?
But we kind of assume roughly normal.
He could have taken some of his friend.
The sorcerer's stone.
Yeah, the sorcerer's stone. What's that potion called?
I don't know.
Come on, guys. Let's
put our
brains together.
Stone juice.
It's there. Kind of.
Sorcerer's stone juice. The elixir of life.
The elixir of life.
Oh, SOS.
Whatever. I knew that.
All right, let's go to the last. Yeah. We can talk about this more, but let's go to the last chapter. Chapter 10 or 11, sorry. Hermione's helping hand. Quick summary of this one.
Oh, Quidditch tryouts.
Yeah. Yeah, and Hermione gives a helping hand.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Yes. And then the trio visits Hagrid, where we find out Aragon? Is that right?
Ooh, you're going in Lord of the Rings territory right here.
Excellent.
You just said Aragorn, which is the character.
Oh, Aragog. Oh, it must have changed it. Aragog. There it is.
I love it. Your Google Drive. Whatever documents are doing.
Apparently sick and not doing too well. That's all I have. Was there anything else?
We care about that?
Sorry, I was distracted in chapter 10.
What about Aragog?
He's still on chapter 10.
Oh, because you didn't
ask. A bloody knife? Why a bloody knife?
He said he didn't ask him.
No, it's not. We got to keep pace.
Yeah,
we're already way overboard.
But what else is in that? There's a lot in that chapter that we'll kind of touch on as we go on.
I always just skim through my margins and I'm like, my only thing there was why he had a bloody knife and a wand.
Yeah.
Why would a wizard need a bloody knife?
Yeah.
And whose blood is it? Again, I'm thinking the locket and the blood, the whatever. Yeah. Did he just kill a snake? Did he kill something else? But again, a wizard, why a knife? He's got a wand with endless spells he can use.
Danny's
and bloody?
I'm gonna give nicknames to both of you. Jen's gonna be Ancient Magic. Jen Ancient Magic. And Danny's gonna be Danny Blood and Toenails.
Oh, Danny Blood and Toenails.
That's so disgusting.
What a great combo.
One of the themes too of chapter 10, I just have to say, is you trust, but you don't know who to trust, because you still feel like, even though Dumbledore is giving off certain information, you still feel like maybe he's holding back certain things. Like he's not telling the exact complete story. He's going into what he knows. And the same point, you feel like Voldemort is like that. You're getting insights into his life that no one really ever knows before. And Dumbledore even mentioned this, I think, which is a really important point, that he said, you can tell Harry, or you can tell Hermione and Ron this, but this cannot get out really to anybody else. He was very clear about that.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, also, I feel like Voldemort doesn't like any kind of emotion except for killing people or dark. Because remember, even when he tried to take over Harry at the ministry, he hated it and he left. So I wonder if knowing all your childhood history or the history of your parents and stuff would have some kind of emotional effect that could counteract anything that Voldemort would try to do.
That's a great point, yeah.
He's typing it. That must mean good. I'm kidding. You have something else, and I forgot. The helping hand, something.
Hermione's helping hand. Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
Oh.
Not like Dumbledore's helping hand, which is withering and dying.
Ew. I just want to know what the heck what happened. It's so annoying. I'm so every time. We'll see. Yeah.
Okay, so they're practicing non-verbal spells. And they
is anyone getting it?
No one is getting it.
Well, Hermione
a little bit.
A little one thing,
but they're still practicing and they look constipated because their faces are turning purple. They need poo or whatever it said. It says that they overdosed on
It is hard to meditate on something with your mind. My mind wanders.
But they're supposed to be practicing this charm because they're talking about Hagrid, and we'll talk about Hagrid being with his emotions. But they say, we've got Quidditch tryouts this morning, said Ron. And we're supposed to be practicing the Aguamenti charm for Flitwick. What do you think that charm is? Aguamenti.
Who's? I know he's a professor.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know.
I mean, I would just because of agua, I was thinking something with water, but I don't know.
And
it can't be. It never came up in the discussion about being
and a minty.
It's mouthwash charm. That's it.
Clean your dirty mouth. Oh, look at that.
Voldemort's going to say the M word, and Harry's going to be Aguamenti.
That goes along with the
wash
love
his mouth
potion.
out with some. Yeah, exactly.
He cleans the dirty mouth. Yep.
Wash out that mouth.
What was that?
What?
The gum.
Yeah, the
orbit. Is it
yeah,
orbit?
Yeah.
Clean a dirty mouth. Yes, that's right.
Those are great.
Augment your mouth with Aguamenti. I think it would do something to bring water up out of its normal gravity thing and make it splash on people.
And then even on top of that, because they're talking about this in terms of Hagrid. Is Hagrid childish for how he's behaving toward the trio?
Hagrid?
Yeah.
No, I think they're being childish in
Really?
how they're behaving towards him. Now, he is being childish. But he's just so consistently Hagrid. We knew exactly how he was going to react. And to be fair, the kids did too. They knew that this was going to hurt him. He's, I feel like he has very pure and simple emotions. Not to like downplay them, but like they knew that this would hurt him and they knew they could smooth it over later.
Yeah.
And it felt like I was not psyched with the way they handled it. Yeah. It felt like they're like, it'll be fine. We'll just like butter him up later. I'm like, but don't let him go through pain just because you don't want to be uncomfortable and then plan on making it better later. Like, take him out of the pain. Go, help him now. And even then, they were resisting. They're like, oh, do we have to go down there? Oh, but we're so busy. I'm like, goodness gracious, guys. Just go down to Hagrid.
I know, right?
We love Hagrid. I'm like, before, they should have done this ahead of time.
Yeah.
And I'm just, preaching to myself about this because I'm not good at doing things that I don't want to do. But it still feels like the kind of thing that multiple times we were like, reading and I'm like yelling at the book like, guys, go to Hagrid, he's the best.
I felt he was immature.
You were mad at him.
Yeah.
What got you?
I was annoyed because I was like, as the adult, like, you can't.
A little petty.
Yes, definitely petty. And I'm like, they're at the age now where it's not their first, second, and third years where it's like, oh, let's create little friendships,
Yeah.
This is like they're going into their serious final years. They have to focus on their schoolwork. So we can't expect them to just do his class just because he's teaching it.
Just because they're
so
friends.
I got
with him.
and I'm like, dude, you're an adult. And like, I work with children. So I'm like, you have to, you have to take the mature route when you're dealing with them. You can't expect them to come to you. Sometimes you have to be the one to initiate the hard conversations. And if he was feeling that way, he could have went and talked to them. So I was annoyed with them.
Do
like
you
he's acting
Hagrid?
childish because he kind of is childish. Like what you're saying, he's like pure of heart. He's a child, like childlike.
It sounds insulting to him, but this is how the kids always view him. They view him as the kid in the relationship.
Yeah.
He's bigger and everything, but they view him as the child. So I almost view it. It sounds harsh because we love Hagrid. I really do. But I view the kids as having to be the adults in the situation.
Yeah.
And they have to actually go and be like, it's their job to be the bigger people because they might just have a little more like of an emotional spectrum than Hagrid does. So maybe that's why I blame them a little more.
I see that.
But he is technically the adult. So it'd be nice to see that out of him. But maybe I just don't expect that out of him. It never seen that kind of like, it sounds harsh to say that maturity. Did you blame Hagrid?
It went back and forth.
Yeah.
The two. I feel like the kids should have went to him first and be like, hey, we know that we didn't sign up for your class, but this is why. But then he shouldn't have reacted like a kid and been like, you know, having like a temper tantrum or not wanting to talk to them or whatever he did.
Yeah, he really did. It was like a little temper tantrum kind of.
And then I was like, is he really not showing up to meals because of this?
I know.
I was hoping we would find some more noble reason. Oh, maybe.
Because he said then the Dumbledore whole thing. Dumbledore's been missing as much as Hagrid.
So maybe Aragog, Grop, other things. He might be helping Dumbledore with stuff. Maybe. But if he was not going to meals just to avoid them, I was like, oh, talk it out, guys. It'll be fine.
So even right before they go see Hagrid, it's Quidditch trials, and Harry is frustrated that so many people are at Quidditch trials. And Hermione goes, oh, come on, Harry. It's not Quidditch that's popular. It's you. You've never been more interesting. And frankly, you've never been more fanciable. Ron gagged on a large piece of kipper. Hermione spared him one look of disdain before turning back to Harry. Does Ron love Hermione?
Yeah. Obviously.
Yeah. Yep.
And she loves him too.
He's got it bad.
But he also did something with the ball. Remember when she made a comment about Harry? No, didn't she say? Oh no, maybe it was about what's the guy that took her to the ball.
Crumb.
Because sorry, I'm going back. Even the wizarding
during the Triwizard tournament.
Yes, and they all thought Hermione and Harry were dating in the tent and everything. And then didn't Ron get upset then too?
I think that fanned his upsetness into flame. Yeah, I think so. He was upset before that, but I think he was even more like that. Probably drove him a little crazy. There was something.
And then she got upset that he didn't ask her out to the dance.
That's right.
The prom.
Yeah. So it's been back and forth.
Yeah.
What did Mrs. Weasley? Mrs. Weasley got upset at Hermione because
of Harry's.
Yeah.
They were dating. She thought because she listened. She read the.
That's right.
And
because
the paper. Yeah. And
so Ron's probably at
Ron
summer
even
break
know. I think the mom knows.
To his mom, Mom, I love her.
No. I think she picks up on every time they're together when she comes for summer.
Ron's
honey,
just use a love potion. It's so easy. I can't, Mom. I gave one to Ginny.
Yeah, and but even they're not still using the love potion. It worked once.
Well, yeah, and we don't know the details of that, but it's but it worked for Molly Wobbles. So, but I was thinking at the end of this chapter when Harry is confronting Hermione about it and kind of like, oh, you did the thing with the helping hand, like, and then Ron looks back like, guys, what's taking so long? I was like, it does look a little fishy. And then I think is Ron getting jealous in that moment of like, why are they like telling secrets and stuff? I kind of feel like he might be. So I feel bad for him a little bit. That tension of unspoken desire.
So even the whole desire part too. Harry mentions that he doesn't really ever get mail, and there's this one line kind of stuck out to me a little bit. These chapters that he actually kind of wanted Lupin to write to him.
I know.
Yeah.
Why doesn't Lupin write to Harry?
He's a werewolf.
He's out.
Can't hold pens in his paws. That's
I don't think he thinks like that. He's never had anyone. Has he had anyone? Like I don't know.
Wow, that's a great point. Does he have family? Has he really like corresponded with people?
And is there a reason why he's not writing?
He can't be dead.
Like, is he going through something right now?
He could be off on a mission for Dumbledore.
Or he's still recovering. Doing legit. Sirius.
Oh, recovering. He did look pretty bad when we saw him earlier in this book, right?
I don't remember.
Yeah, him and Tonks looked really bad. So they're
Tonks,
taking it
I
the
remember,
most.
yeah.
The emotion of losing Sirius for sure, and there could be more trauma.
But Tonks is younger, I thought, and she stepped into her role.
Yeah, I know.
I didn't even think about what Lupin would be in the middle of or going through. He might need a letter from Harry more than Harry needs one from him. Or maybe he just doesn't know what to say. And if it's another Tonks thing, he might blame himself in other ways too, because we don't know the whole situation.
Or maybe he doesn't want to replace Sirius. Like, if I write a letter, that's what Sirius used to do. I don't want to bring up memories.
Yeah.
And I never really write to him. And
Lupin seems like the overthinker of the group, so maybe if you're right.
And I think, but they did have a pretty good bond when he was there as a teacher. He was one of the best teachers we had seen up till that point. So yeah, I'd love to see him right. I hope there'd be a good reason. That'd be actually
Harry
nice.
can do a full Patronus, whatever that's called. That language.
A full corporeal Patronus.
Oh, whatever. Yeah.
Nerds.
Yeah. That thing.
Yeah.
A lot of so even like the Patil twins, their parents want them to go home, and Eloise Midgen, she's already been withdrawn. Her dad picked her up last night. If you had kids, would you take them out of Hogwarts?
No. I don't know. Maybe.
I don't think so.
I feel like you would think they are safer there. Dumbledore's there. At least you think he's there.
It's like you would want to, but are they safer there? Is the safest place?
Yeah, I know. I feel like they're safer at the
I think I'd be like, can I come work at Hogwarts?
Yeah.
I'll be a janitor. I will do whatever.
I clean the bathrooms.
Just because we were seeing giants out in somewhere else in England, right? Like they were out attacking things and people. What was it? In London, there was like a pretty big deal with a bridge.
Bridge collapse. Yeah.
And so like
theaters.
That's like in the middle of cities and stuff. So I feel like the people would be thinking, wow, getting away from all of this is probably a really good thing. Dumbledore, the extra charms, the Aurors, it might really feel safer up there.
But again, you guys just had the entire conversation that Ron, Harry, and Hermione had. It's safer because Dumbledore's there. But Dumbledore's not always there.
Not always there.
No, but he also said there was a ton of spells protecting.
Yeah, for sure.
It.
Agreed.
Even more so than they have the Aurors or whatever there.
So there is a lot of protection there.
Yeah.
But it also makes it a big target. So many people in one place. So yeah, I see both sides of that, but I think I would feel comfortable
wouldn't you be more safe in bigger numbers too?
Yep.
Closer you are to danger, the farther you are from harm.
Yes.
What?
Quoting Lord of the Rings.
Yep.
I'm catching on now.
That's our inappropriate humor. You guys have inappropriate stuff that you guys keep to yourself, and me and Danny have Lord of the Rings. Woo!
Wow.
Good for you guys.
But it could be kind of like that. The closer you are to, which is like in the heat of it, the further you are from harm because Dumbledore is there. There's a lot of protection there, like you were saying, Jen. So
yeah, and Dumbledore, I don't know where he is, what he's doing.
Yeah, do you have any theories on that?
I feel like everything is just trying to find out how to defeat Voldemort.
So you don't think Dumbledore has that planned out yet? Like, I'm trying to think, is he still formulating the plan? Or is he...
I feel like he's still like collecting information to seal the deal. Like, I think he knows, but he needs a little bit more, which is maybe why he's getting Harry into the thoughts of some people. Or maybe he knows that Harry just needs to collect these thoughts because that's part of how you defeat him. Or he's trying to get more people on his side of the battle.
Interesting. Recruiting more like he did with Slughorn. Yeah. Getting a few more people. Makes sense.
What do you think?
No, I think that would make a lot of sense. I actually, come to think of it, he could be out collecting memories. Like, because he got the memory from Ogden. And so
But he died.
Yeah, and he got the memory right before he died.
Right.
And it was the first one they went through. We didn't really know. I thought of it as being somewhat recent.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't know. It could have been sitting, in his office somewhere for years. I mean, we know the memory took place however long ago, 60, 70 years ago.
And are there any teachers that are teaching there still that were teachers when like Voldemort was a student? Is McGonagall that old? She was teaching.
I don't
Voldemort?
think of her as being.
Dumbledore was, right?
Old.
Yeah, Dumbledore was there, yeah.
But Slughorn certainly could have been. I don't think of him as being that old. In my mind, I thought of him as being like
a little younger than that, yeah.
Yeah, 70
Hagrid's age,
at
maybe.
the oldest, as young as maybe 55 or 60.
No, mind,
he can't be 55 because he was talking in the past tense about being 57 when he used his luck potion. Go,
yeah.
So,
but he could have used it like a day ago. So
that could have been last week. So he's at least 57. We know that, but I don't think he could have been there, but we know that some teachers, Bins, right? He was probably there.
Bins has been there from the beginning,
right? He's like for all time. Are there any other ghost teachers or teachers that are a little outside of the? You know what? Ferenz, how old are centaurs?
Yeah, you don't know how some of the like Flitwick, you could be really old too.
Yeah, we don't know anything about Flitwick really.
Same thing as Sprout. Some of these professors could just be very, very old.
But a teacher would have to be quite old to be around then.
Yeah.
The other thing with Dumbledore's age is we don't know how time turners affect things.
Yeah.
So if he's spent any chunk of his life doing some time turner goodness, that would add some years. Anyways, that complicates the math. But
what do you also think of Hermione taking matters into her own hands and confronting Cormac? Oh, how do you like that version of Hermione?
I like that I think it was important for her growth that she was willing to do it, but I don't like that she did it. But I also do like it. I just think it was cute because it showed like that she cared for Ron that much.
Yeah.
And it felt like that like she's like watching from the stand so nervous. She's like in mom mode almost.
Yeah.
Like she's like, I don't care if it's against the rules. Just I don't want to see Ron in pain and like I want him to succeed. So I thought that was cute. But I just I was like, I don't think it was necessarily the best. You know why? Because it would hurt Ron a lot if he found out later.
Would it?
Most likely. But maybe not. Maybe he would be like, oh, that's cute. Whoa.
Yeah.
If I did that?
Maybe. It could shatter his
I'd be a little
confidence.
insulted. You know, it's like if someone loses on purpose to let you win, it feels good to win. But if you lose on purpose, you're like, oh, you didn't even respect me enough to try hard.
For sure.
Right?
And coming from, you nailed the sporting angle too, because Harry and Hermione are thinking the same thing. Like they don't want Cormac on the team because Cormac's a head case.
Yep.
Crazy. He's like a nut. But at the same time, if Ron ever finds out about this, his confidence is done.
Yeah.
Absolutely done.
Because it's saying, Hermione, you wanted to see me on the team, but you didn't think I was capable of it without your help.
Yep.
Ugh. And that hurts.
But it's not like she put something on him to make him better.
Yeah, agreed.
So it could.
That's a good point. He still made 5 saves.
He was him.
And that's the part that stinks even for us. As we read, we're like, oh, Hermione, you didn't need to do that.
I know.
Like, it might not have mattered. Or maybe they would have gone to another shootout or whatever. Or Harry would have just had to make the call and say,
They
Ron,
also blamed Ginny, so Hermione could just hide under that.
Yeah. Yep.
Not good, but she could.
It's not an ideal situation. But I think it is good for Hermione. Breaking the rules, right?
Yeah, I think so.
She's done that a few times before. She's starting to see that it doesn't always have to be.
She's done it for necessity before. She hasn't done it for something as like frivolous as this.
Yeah, good point.
Which has been, it's kind of nice to see her doing this, to be honest. But it also seems illegal.
Yep.
And it also makes me think of the protections that they have to put in. Like
good luck potion.
Yeah.
It's the opposite of the good luck potion. Sorry,
bad luck potion, bad luck spell. Yeah, there has to be some kind of protection for sporting events. Like the Wizarding World Cup, a bunch of wizards who have all wands and they can do whatever spell they want.
Like,
there's got to be like a barrier or something like that. Crazy.
But if that exists, then everyone could hide from Voldemort from that.
I know, that's true.
So
that's what Hogwarts is, though. There's a barrier protecting Hogwarts. That's why everyone thinks it's the safest place.
Ancient magic.
There it is. Jenn, ancient magic. All right, here is another line. This kind of stuck out to me a little bit. But how can he have done it, Harry? Said Hermione, putting down the newspaper with a surprised look. We were all searched when we arrived, weren't we? Were you? Said Harry, taken aback. I wasn't. Oh, no, of course you were, and I forgot you were late. Well, Filch ran us all over with secrecy sensors when we got to the entrance hall. Any dark object would have been found. I know for a fact, Crab had a shrunken head. Crab had a shrunken head confiscated. You see, Malfoy can't have brought anything in dangerous. So again, what is this shrunken head? This is of importance. And did Malfoy sneak something in?
If he did sneak something in, I feel like it could have been jewelry after all our talk.
That'd be easy to sneak in, right?
Doesn't look bad.
That'd be the easiest way to sneak something in, something that looks innocent but isn't.
Because didn't all the Ministry of Magic came and took anything suspicious out of their house too?
Yeah.
Anything that looked like muggle, like boring, they would have left. So jewelry would be perfect.
Yeah.
For that. But
who wants a boring pendant or necklace or locket?
Wait, didn't was his name Ernie or Ernest or something? The night bus driver. At least in the movie, he had a shrunken head.
Yeah,
swinging from his mirror. So are they all bad?
I think it was just in the movie. I don't know if he had it in the.
Because I'm like, shrunken heads. They don't give me happy feelings. But what do you use it for?
Yeah,
whose head? Why do you have it?
Seems like voodoo-ish kind of.
And Crab is not slick with anything. Unless that was all distraction so that Malfoy could sneak by.
Yeah, for sure.
But
it could be Malfoy's plan for it.
It was all part of it. Yeah, you hold this. It'll draw all the attention.
Yeah.
And in comparison to your shrunken head, my little necklace will look like nothing.
And then final question in this chapter. Until we ask Danny if he has any more points he needs. They're at the slug, or they're talking about the slug club and like a party that's happening. I want to know what's the best party that you guys have ever been to.
Best party. I still hate that name, Slug Club. So bad.
What would you call your club?
I don't know. Anything but Slug Club.
Ancient Magic Club. The toenail and blood. The toenails and the bloods.
Bloody toenails.
Ew. The perfect combo.
Instead of bloody knuckles.
Bloody toenails.
That's so gross. The best party?
The best party.
It's been a while.
I know. It's been 13 years.
I'm thinking of parties as being
you've probably been to a lot.
Not like out at a place, not like in a club or something. Yeah. I guess I've been to a lot, but
I'm thinking of more gatherings. I don't think so much as parties. It's just like, sitting around a fire with a bunch of friends.
Yeah.
And when I was in college, there was woods in the back of our campus, and me and all my friends would just go and have bonfires out there, and it was illegal, and we got caught, and we got some serious reprimands for it, but it was so fun.
And that adds to the fun.
What?
The adds to the fun.
I know, exactly. I know,
yeah. Yep. I don't know. That's
not
fun.
We're not going.
Wait, is that the woods where you thought someone was murdered because of the fox?
Yeah, because of the fox scream. Yep. It was terrifying. It was one of the scariest nights of my life. Mm-hmm. But even before that, one of my friends went out there to start the fire, and when he went out there, the fire was already started. And he's what is going on? He like walks a little closer to it, and there's a guy squatting behind a tree with his head poking out.
Ew, that's seriously creepy.
My word.
Did he run?
He was like, hello? And the guy poked his head out, and he knew who it was. It was like one of the weirder guys on campus that was just like, the guy walked by because he like would walk in the woods, and he saw this like place where you have fires, and he's like, I just wanted to start a fire. And so he started a fire, and then my friend Joe walks out there, and he's like, okay.
And then fire in the woods by yourself.
Yeah.
Cool.
Half hour later, a fox is screaming.
Oh, that was
that night?
Same night.
Oh,
that's
gracious.
creepy.
So
no wonder. He's like,
terrified.
A murder did happen, and I just met the murderer.
I know.
I'm lucky to be alive.
But those used to be like mini parties for us, and that was fun. I love a campfire. I was just hanging out,
I'm thinking of I like the water. I like boats, and in Australia me and Trevor, we lived on a big ship, like a pirate ship looking thing. And we would have crew days, like not very often, but like once a summer, twice a summer maybe, where it was an off day. So we would just take the boat to like a cool cove and then anchor it. And then we would all just like hang out, drinks and everything. And then we would set up rope swings off of some of the masts and swinging out there. And I feel like that was really fun because it was very carefree, all food. And I feel like we worked really hard. So then being able to just like do nothing and hang out in a cool environment too. It's pretty awesome. Those were good parties.
You only had one day off?
No, we had days off every week, but not days where we take the 150-foot long ship out to a cove,
I was just like, whoa.
Yeah, the vessel was off limits.
Did deserve that one day.
Right.
I can't think.
Nothing is like
about backyard parties.
Yeah, we always had like barbecues, family barbecues, playing volleyball.
Or what about on vacation? Family reunions or
we don't
celebrating big events. What about siblings' weddings? That's like a party.
Yeah.
Eddie's wedding sounds pretty epic. It's before my
Eddie's
time.
Wedding. Lauren's wedding. Before your time. You did know Eddie first, though.
It's true.
That's weird. Yeah, that was actually fun. And so was...
A good wedding is hard to beat.
Yeah. Actually, there's been like random like going out in the city when like college days, and we just like walked into a bar and we're like, oh my gosh, what is this? Like a dance party? It happened to me like 3 times. It's like they have a live band, and then we stayed. And it was just like so much fun. And then the other time it was like a random holiday weekend where everyone leaves the city. And we went into the city, and they had a live band, and they were giving out like those huge noodles that like glow in the dark, and like handing it. Oh my gosh, that was fun. I remember those. There's so many though. Like,
yeah,
it depends on what mood you're in. If you want like a chill party where you're just hanging out with your close friends, or the dance party. Or the Rager. I've been to one of those back in the day.
Or our week-long Rager at Universal when we finished the books.
Oh, yeah.
That party don't stop.
It's never
that will be a party to remember.
My favorite party is in the future.
Yeah. There you go. I like that.
Where? It hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, we time turned back so we could do this.
It's in the future, 2027.
All right, Danny. Danny, no, we're gonna be done this year. I promise.
No.
That's something different.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying that we're gonna take 2027 to finish.
I mean,
which at this rate,
I
wouldn't mind it. You know,
it would be a chapter a month.
Yeah, but it's getting really good, guys.
It
is
really
hard to like put it down.
Guys,
I'm like,
know, right?
Oh. I'm glad that I finished this chapter today, because then I was like, all right, good. I can read some more later.
Anything else in this chapter that you saw, Danny? Specifically, Danny?
No, this is where the Aragog thing came up. So I was just trying to think if there was anything there, like what is causing him to like start to, die, I guess, and what will the consequences be?
Is it the same thing that
I don't know?
Dumbledore has it. Like, is he turning black?
Ooh, that's interesting. Like, again, the collective idea of things, like the world is becoming darker.
Yeah.
As Voldemort takes over, does that have an impact on nature? Do people live shorter? Do magical creatures get impacted by the darkness?
Because he's sucking the life out of everyone. Kids were acting weird too. Little baby spiders.
Yeah, they were acting funky from the beginning. Hermione closed the door officially on the time turners by announcing it here.
Yeah.
Of course, there could easily be like, oh, well, one was issued at that point, or 5 were, or whatever. Or even one of the Death Eaters grabbed one on the way in, and the whole cabinet smashed, but he still had one in his pocket. But
you have a little peace of mind.
Yeah, but exactly, because however clear it was in the last book, she really made it clear here. Yeah. So it feels like to me that was her trying to say,
so
I'm
no
closing
more
the door pretty good.
Like
That's like 90% sure.
That's like in the 4th book when Hermione was telling Crumb how to pronounce her name. It's like Hermione. Rowling was just so annoyed that people couldn't pronounce the name that she's like, okay, let me just spell it out for you.
Spell it out. And that's what
that
this
was the
felt
same
like.
thing, yeah.
Yep. Is Ron jealous? Yes. Slughorn didn't look at Ron. Makes me not like Slughorn.
Yeah, Slughorn's back and forth. He just kind of wants famous people.
It was weird that Mr. Weasley didn't find anything in their house, but the discussion around that, like Harry said, he must have brought whatever it is to Hogwarts with him. Like, it's not in the house. It must be here.
Or Jen's theory that it could just be something like jewelry.
Right. It could be something kind of plain, whether it actually is plain or has power or whatever. I also just thought there are tons of places it could also be. So the idea that it either had to be at the house or here, I'm like, there are a million options.
Yeah, I know.
Especially when you're a Death Eater, like you could have just hidden it in the woods. Or you could have given it to Voldemort. You could have gotten a vault at Gringotts or some other bank. You could have bought a business at Diagon Alley under a shell corporation and just put it in the back. It could be anything. So I was just like, I'm not convinced it's at Hogwarts just because it wasn't there.
Yeah.
And Mr. Weasley could have missed it. All right, and that was it.
Good. We'll keep talking about these. The House of Gaunt chapter is an interesting one, so we'll keep going over that as we go on. But give me some of your favorites. Who wins the House Cup? Who wins the Hot Tamale? And what is your favorite moment in these chapters?
Hot tamale. Maybe Hermione.
Ooh, that was spicy.
She was a little. Yeah.
Favorite moment. Only because it's information. When you were finding out that that's Voldemort's mom. That Merapi is Voldemort's mom. Just getting like information in that chapter. That was probably my favorite moment.
Even though it was like a sliver of information, you still love it.
Yeah. And I think also the fact that she was like abused as like a child, like that affects people. So I wonder
it affected how that magic,
affected him too. I don't know. What's the other one? House Cub?
Who's your favorite character in these 3 chapters?
Ooh. I don't know.
Yeah, Merope. Yeah, Morphin. Is Morphin your favorite?
Oh yeah.
Dumbledore. There's a lot of people that pop up in these chapters.
I know.
Sluggy.
I like that he's actually teaching though.
Yeah, right. He's a good teacher.
Yep.
Potion. So.
You wonder if Harry would be good even without the book in this book because he has an like adequate teacher. Because Harry scored exceeds expectations for his potions, which is the second best score.
And that's actually surprising with Snape as his professor.
I know.
So true.
So, sure, we'll go with that.
Wait, who was that?
Slughorn.
Harry? Slughorn. Okay, nice.
As a teacher.
Yeah. Yep. Big improvement.
It was cool to learn about the potions too.
Yeah. Yeah, it was.
And I like how he gave Hermione points.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
And he's like, wow, you're doing such a great job. And he likes Muggleborn.
In general. Yeah. Well, maybe not in general. But no, it seems like it. Yeah.
No, he likes to give them credit. I don't know. Yeah. Your turn. So is the pensieve.
As we knew from the very beginning. I'll say hot tamale. Yeah, I'll go with Hermione, I think.
Wow.
Because Merapi just feels a little... she's Voldemort's mom. I can't give her hot tamale. Spicy move, but
what if she didn't do anything?
Oh, she did something. She did a couple somethings.
She feels like the illegal hot tamale.
Yeah, exactly.
Rapish.
You can't steal the hot tamale award from Hermione or anyone else. And then I think, there were a lot of like really good moments. I loved I liked the pensieve. Just the whole idea of being able to actually go into a memory, so great because it's so the information you get feels so not only refreshing because we love the information, but again, it feels like from a storytelling perspective, you're seeing something totally unique.
Yeah.
You jumping back in time like that to a different time is cool. So I really did enjoy reading that chapter. Felt really juicy. But there were other good moments. Like the biggest suspense moment was when Ron actually made that 5th save. I thought it was going to go the opposite way. So I was like, when I turned that page, because it was right there, and it was like the relief of turning that page and being like, he made the save. So, oh my goodness. So that actually was a great moment. But who gets the house cup? I'll go Dumbledore, I think. He's looping Harry in on this stuff. He's bringing him with him. And we don't really know the details yet. He's still being a little withholding, but I like him.
All right. My favorite moment was when McGonagall was talking to Neville. I just loved that moment where it's like he needed that boost, I feel like. Hot tamale, I'm going to give it to Harry. He was a little sassy. Respect. But there's no need to call me sir, Professor.
Yeah, that was a good one.
And this is very random, but my house cup is Katie Bell. I
love this.
Love how mature she was in that conversation with Harry.
Yeah.
How like
so true.
Whatever, I forget what she said, but I was so blown away. I read that part and I was like, house cup was going to her. I didn't even care who else.
Captain. 100% deserves to be captain over Harry.
Because he wasn't going to have her try out, right?
Yeah.
And she was like, no, don't do that. Like you have to, you know, she didn't like jump on that right away and just like accept it.
Yep.
So yeah.
She 100% should have been captain. She was snubbed. She is so much more mature than Harry at this moment. Love that. That's a good moment. I think my favorite moment is actually the Felix Felicis. The description of it in the book was just beautiful. It's like hopping around. It's like everything's contained perfectly, and just how he kind of described that, and just the idea of liquid luck is kind of a cool potion. So I loved reading about that. My hot tamale is Horace Slughorn, because he just knows how to work a class so well.
Yeah, he does.
And he just dramatic pauses at the right moment. Like how he interacts with Hermione. He's a hot tamale there. I think I kind of like him here. And then I'm gonna say my favorite is probably like a combination of Dumbledore and Harry, because of their back and forth. They're still not telling each other everything, I feel like, but they're getting closer to things. They're like circling each other, and even how they're communicating, it just seems like it's leaps and bounds from what it used to be. Like Harry's asking more questions. Dumbledore is kind of coming up with more answers, except for his hand. So I think both of them are kind of my House Cup winners. I think both of them are showing strides of growth in their relationship, which I really like. So that's what I got. Thanks for joining us on our journey of Harry Potter and the First Time Readers. Good night to all. There's a definitive point in the podcast and we all get really tired. We're like, all right, let's go. Let's move it along.